Well, I'm not going on holiday again for the next 20. Fuck, where are we? 26. 26 weeks. Oh, that's not bad. It's not too long. Cool. Yeah, no. Good to have you on, mate. I know. I say you've been. I say even the pods you guys have done together. I think. Yeah, you know the game. You spend a lot of time on it. And yeah, I think your insights would be really interesting. So yeah, just have fun. Just react to the comms. You'll be ahead of chat. So yeah, you two, and you'll be the first to see it. So yeah, there'll be a delay, like 30 odd seconds until chat sees it. But he was alright after he loosened up. He loosened up. Yeah. Mm. Oh, I see. Hang on. So apparently I've left my mic on, so everyone can hear me. Have I said anything bad? I don't think I've said anything bad. I mean, I've got it on live now. I've just got to keep it going now, haven't I? Hi everyone. We're gonna go live in a minute. I've been off for 2 weeks. I'm ropey. Right. Fuck it. Let's go live. Good luck, guys.
Here we are. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Fantasy Championship Manager Season 3, Game Week 12 live stream. We won't leave everyone hanging for 45 seconds like Martin and Andy did last week, just sitting there waiting to see if we're live. I think we're underway. New guest this week, first time on for FPL, Gills. Gills. I've done it wrong again. I said I didn't actually do that on purpose. I said I was going to, and I didn't mean it. FPL, he's very particular about how that's pronounced. FPL Gills. Sorry, mate.
That's all right. Thanks, Craig. And yeah, thanks very much for having me on. Yeah, so it's Gills as in Gillingham. So I'm just going to call you Craig every time you get it wrong.
That's all right. I've been called far worse by my family who spell my name in all sorts of wacky ways. So I'm used to random pronunciations. It's not that complicated, 5 letters, but people make hard work of it. Yeah, here we are. Game Week 12 live stream. Team sheets are now in, obviously. A few interesting picks. I've seen already in the Discord that Luke's getting a load of shit because he took Harry Kewell out and Harry Kewell's on the bench. So being called all sorts of psychic type things because he made that correct move. I think he got Perez in, who's obviously playing. But yeah, we shall start at the start. So we'll go through it in Twitter order. So first game up was Bolton Man City, not the biggest highlight game of the week. But yeah, decent if you got Ricardo Gardner. I think he's got the full length up arrow, the double line, so pretty good for him. And then Hendry is playing at the back. In a slight change from last season, I don't know if you remember, Dave, but before they signed Richard Dunn, it used to be Hendry in the middle, De Vos to the right and Schumacher to the left. But so Hendry's come in, but they've decided to just dump him on the left instead. I think Bolton as a unit are a lot better with him in the middle. I don't know what difference that will make, if any. And I don't know how good James Evans is in goal either, because obviously Escalana's banned. So I don't know what your thoughts are on Bolton, but yeah, good for Gardner.
Definitely, yeah. I think the centre backs tend to do better average rating. The left and the right one, not the centre one, generally.
Yeah. I like it already in the comments. Great. Perlo's Beard's already put his Craig David on the stream tonight.
Very good.
If we had some good Craig David songs, what's a good Craig David? We don't want to wait 7 days till the next stream, do we? Next week.
Oh, I think it is in 7 days, isn't it?
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, I'll fill you in later, Craig.
Nice one. And then they're at home to Man City, who are, I don't know if they've been at full strength for a while. This is maybe their full strength team now. Michael Oakes back in goal. Sorensen started a couple of games lately. But other than that, I think this is probably their best team, their most likely team that I would expect to play most weeks. So probably not a bad game if you've got Man City players. I'm sure I can understand if people bench them. but I don't think it's the worst game if you decide to play Drain Wright or someone like that this week.
It does look like the first 11. Does Howie sometimes play centre back and sometimes right back, or is he always centre back?
I think he's usually always a centre back. I don't know their backup. That Dempsey, I think, on the bench is possibly a defender. I don't know. I think he's a centre back. I'm not 100% sure if he's a regen. But yeah, not much to talk about for Man City. Chelsea, Bradford next. Dean Holden at left back, maybe a little bit of a surprise. I think I thought Keenan would play left back, even though we couldn't have him in the game because he wasn't priced up. But I thought he would be the left back. I think he played a cup game at left back since Babayaro is out, but he's not played. They played Holden, who hasn't actually got left back. I don't think in his positional attributes. I don't think, but anyway, he's playing there.
Yeah, I mean,
obviously,
the game might decide he's not performing and then take him out and put someone really odd there left back. So you might expect a few funny changes.
He's on the bench, Keenan, so he could come on there.
Yeah, he might do. And then Zola, yeah, as you say, he's on the right but running into the centre, so that could expose Chelsea down their right hand side. And I believe it's Hoekstra that plays on the left, isn't it? For Bradford?
Yeah, wicked. He's my third sub. Ideal to expose that opportunity. We'll call it the Sabon role because I think he's played there 3 or 4 weeks for Sunderland now on their right hand side. Bad news for me. I got Guy Johnson in this week as part of a -4. Got him in for Boxic, thinking that it's a good game for Chelsea attacking. But ideally, I think if you've got a striker, you like both your wingers to be staying out wide and putting the crosses in. Especially we've seen already in this team how good he is at scoring headers. So I'd rather have 2 wingers crossing the ball to him rather than 1. But at least Zenden has got the full length up arrow, which might help. But we'll see how that goes. Good Johnson. It was tough this week for transfers. I think for a lot of people, 4 or 5 options. I think most people had similar moves to make Carboni out, for example, because of the fact he's injured. And I think a lot of people went Chadwick maybe as the first choice replacement. I didn't. I went for Perez. But there was that, and I think a lot of people had maybe a third striker spot they was thinking about looking at. I think Dwight York was an option for some. He was my other one on my radar, but so I went to Good Johnson. But
I wouldn't be surprised if Zola goes off after 50 odd minutes because his fitness is so poor, and you'll end up seeing Gronkia come on. So you might get your winger that you need anyway.
Hopefully, yeah, and they've named the striker on the bench. Unfortunately, it's nice when you've got a striker playing if there's no striker on the bench, but Leon Knight is there. And then Bradford, not much to say about them. I think it's first choice for now. Jess is still out, I think, injured, so he's obviously not there. Other than that, I think it's first choice for Bradford, and I don't think anyone's really playing any Bradford assets for this game anyway. I say I left mine on the third sub because I think the sim data was suggesting 0.2 or something likeliness of a goal, so not ideal. Go to Leeds Middlesbrough next. Here's the game with probably the most talking points. We kind of knew already it was 6 players trying to fit into 5 spaces, and we wasn't quite sure which one was going to be the one who didn't get in. And it is Harry Kewell who's been left out. I think it is Keane in the attacking midfield role with the up arrow, and then Aymar and Bowyer in the middle, and then Singh within the left wing back slot again because it's a full length up arrow. So I think it was the rest of the team was maybe quite expected, apart from which one of the attacking players would miss out. And I think most people thought it would be Kewell or Bowyer, and it's Kewell who's unfortunately missed out.
In Aymar's nailed, isn't he? We'd say because he's got the new signing bump, and Viduka's really, he's pretty much going to play almost every game this season. So I would say it's more like 4 into 3 rather than 6 into 5. So
yeah, I'd say
any
that's
of
fair.
those 4 are risky. Probably Larsson's the biggest chance out of those, and then it's a risk having Bowyer, Keane, or Kewell certainly. But I think with Bowyer, because of his price, I think you can risk it, and then he's going to get the odd benching. Then
I agree with that as well. I think Kewell's maybe a dead asset now because obviously there's this formation with the up arrow. The other one is no up arrow, and if that happens, I think Keane will drop out. Most likely, Aymar will play AMC with no up arrow, and then Kewell will come back in next to Bowyer. So it looks like now Kewell is probably second choice to play AMC. So if he plays, we'll be back in that midfield centre role. And I think he's quite expensive to play that role because obviously the upside's a lot less in that position than what it is further forward. So Keane, I think, is a risk. He's not likely to play in the harder away games because they won't have an up arrow in the AMC position. So I think Keane's, you're kind of picking him now purely for for home games where he may be first choice in the lineup we've got tonight. So he's quite expensive though to run through the away games with, isn't he? Even knowing he's got these home games.
Yeah,
a bit like Matt Jensen now, isn't he? Jensen's a bit the same, I think. They're hard players to own because there's a lot of dead games for them. I think Keane's similar to that now, unfortunately.
A lot of defensive messages from Luke in the chat.
I bet there is. He did, to be fair to him, I listened to his the pod he did when he was driving, slamming his car doors and driving around McDonald's, whatever he was doing. But I think he was fairly clear with what he said. I think it's happened how he kind of explained it.
I think, I can see his mindset, which you know there's now a risk, so get rid of him. Simple as that.
I think Bowyer is worth the risk because he's cheap. I think Imar will play the most games, but he'll never play in an attacking position with an up arrow. So I don't know if he'll justify the price either. I think you have Keane and then just accept that in away games he won't play very much. And in home games you'll get him in this formation we've got tonight, which is a promising one. But do you want a player that's like that when someone like Pedersen's in the same position every week for like 0.5 less? Yeah, it's hard, right? It's hard. I personally, I think it's one of the two strikers or Bowyer. I think is the way forward now for Leeds. Unfortunately, I think if you want one of their players, unless one gets injured again, obviously.
AD Tour was saying Craig David's just doing a team selector. That's very good.
Yeah, maybe I haven't got one of those Bow Selector face masks. I should have got one of those. Then on to Middlesbrough. We've got a slight thing here. Mark Hudson's playing in central midfield. I was expecting Marinelli. Obviously, Miller's injured for a while as well, so he wasn't quite sure who would be the replacement. Whether it will be Marinelli in home games, where they'll play. Obviously, they sometimes play both the central midfielders running into the AMC position. Maybe if they're going to do that in a home game, it will be Marinelli with Selakovic.
Is Hudson a DM?
I think he is. He's definitely not an AMC. I think he's a DM. Yeah, possibly even plays in defence as well. Maybe I can't remember. I couldn't even remember he was there, to be honest, until I saw the team sheets tonight.
No, me too.
I don't even know if they signed him. He was already there. Can't remember. But
I suppose it's worth noting that Crossley's back in goal as well.
Yeah, that's a shame for my Viduka captain. He's not shooting at Brad Jones. I'd rather he was shooting at Brad Jones. But yeah, Viduka against Honcho, last time against Southgate. Make of that what you will. I captained Viduka just because I expected Leeds to had the higher ceiling tonight of the premium teams. But in terms of matchups, he's obviously got it harder against Honcho than what Van Nistelrooy's got, probably against Taggart or Elliott. I can't think who it was. But I've still got hopes of Leeds scoring like 4 or something in this game, which would be good for the captain. On to Man United now. So again, they're probably first choice as well. I say Chadwick would have been a popular move in this week. Unfortunately for those that got him, he's only got the smaller up arrow. I think it'd be nicer to have the full length one, but we haven't got that. And Nedved ahead of Giggs down the left, but there is 2 left midfielders on the bench for Nedved. Giggs and Jordic are both there. And
a goalkeeper and 4 essentially attacking midfielders on the bench. So it'd be interesting if they get any defensive injuries. Yeah,
good news if you've got a defender. Not that you'd expect one to be taken off in this game, but sometimes, I think we saw it the other week with a centre-back where basically didn't have anything to do. I can't think of what game it was in. There was a game where the centre-back didn't have anything to do and they took him off because he wasn't...
Ehiog. Yeah, I can't remember what game it was.
Yeah. So at least we should be... He's probably not going to have anything to do in this game either, but at least he should get past the 60 minutes this week rather than being hauled off unnecessarily. And Van Nistelrooy back on the left side. Slight shuffle around there. He's played a few games on the right of the 2 strikers. I don't think it makes a great deal of difference, if I'm honest, but just an observation. And then he's up against Matt Elliott, so on to Leicester. Elliott's on the right of the 2 centre-backs. Probably first choice for them as well, would you say? Well, Scowcroft's on the bench, but I think he was still possibly flagged, so that might be the reason for that.
They've rotated a bit on their defenders, so Sinclair's been in and out the last few weeks, and Matt Heath's been playing as well. He's quite good in the game. It's close to first 11, isn't it?
Yeah. Savage in central midfield as well. You fancy Man United to get at least 2 here. It's just whether they carry on attacking. I wouldn't be surprised if they're 2-0 up inside the first 20 minutes and it's just say whether they want to carry on attacking or whether they just want to kill the game.
Yeah.
Hard to predict. But yeah, that's Leicester. Again, I don't think anyone really cares about any of their lineups because unless you're really desperate, you shouldn't have Leicester players in your team this week. On to Coventry Villa next. Now, this is a little bit of adjustment at the back for Coventry. With Matthias, I think, has been playing left wing. Not actually too sure where he plays. He may be a defender, midfielder, striker or something, one of those sorts of randomers. But we haven't seen him at left back yet. But he's there today. Gilchrist has shuffled over into the middle, and Lawrence has also then shuffled over as a knock-on effect to right back, and Edworthy's been the one sacrificed. Williams seems like a dead asset now. I know he started the season really well. He was lucky in the sense that Eustace was injured for a bit, so they played him in midfield, but now Eustace is back. So I think he's now gone. Not really anyone's looking at those players. I think it's Headman and Walker if you want Coventry defensive assets. And then ahead of that is probably first choice, I would say, for Coventry. Interesting that say no up arrows for their midfielders. It's the defenders that have got them. So not sure that's a good or bad thing. We'll see over the course of the next 2 hours if that works for Coventry.
Yeah, you often see in Championship Manager the fullbacks having the forward arrows, but not the wingers. Some formations. Matt Lawrence, he used to play for Gillingham, and I can assure you he is not a fullback. He is a lumbering centre half. So I don't quite know how that's going to work out. So he's got
just fullback here. He's attacking. He's a wing back.
Yeah, he's got up against Hendry, isn't he? So that's good because I've got Hendry.
Yeah. So on to Villa. This is first choice. I think we don't always get this first choice defence, but we've got it tonight. I would say this is their best defence. We've got that Barry, Rufus, Melberg, Mills. Then, as you say, Hendry, Thompson, Boateng, Hadji's first choice. 2 strikers on the bench. Anyone with Dublin might be a bit concerned. We've got Balaban and Vassell. Also, very strange decision to name 2 left backs on the bench as you do, but standard ChampMan randomness. But yeah, not much to say. I'm playing Alan Thompson this game. I think I saw him sneakily take a few corners the other week. And I just fancied Villa to probably score at least 1 in this game. So I thought I'd roll the dice. So I'm hoping for something from Alan Thompson. You've got Hendry. Maybe one of us will get something.
Yeah. Benno in the chat saying, who's this guy in my seat? Benno, don't worry. I've also been in your fridge and nicked a couple of your beers as well. So thanks very much.
I did ask to swap sides, but I'm not been allowed apparently because this is the unlucky side. Me and Martin will testify that you don't get no points when you sit in this side.
So I'm going to have a better week than you then, yeah?
Based on the process of what's happened in the other weeks, yes. But we'll see. We'll see. On to Liverpool next. We kind of knew Biscan was in midfield. That was leaked. So Risa is back at centre-back again. Hasn't historically gone very well in this season when we've seen him at centre-back. So the right centre-forward for Newcastle, which unfortunately is Cole Court, not Alan Shearer, has probably got more chance than they probably should have of getting something up against him. Other than that, I think Liverpool and I don't know where Richie Partridge has gone either.
He was low condition, but he wasn't flagged. I think he was 89 or something like that. I would have had if I'd had him, I'd have started him because I think he's great in this game. But yeah, he's disappeared. So it's probably a good thing if you did start him. So he's not going to come on for a 1-pointer.
Yeah, and Fowler and Heskey up front. Heskey was another one in my consideration. I really wish I think he's going to do well tonight now because I'm not a big fan of this Newcastle defence. Griffin's not good at the best of times, and Michael Ball is in at centre-back. The Gardso and Griffin have been playing most games at centre-back, but Holt's out in midfield, and both of those 2 centre-backs can play in midfield, so the game's obviously decided they're going to promote one of those into midfield and bring in another defender. Dabizas is surely the best option based on attributes, but the game's decided to play Michael Ball. From memory, I don't think he's that bad in this game. He's at Rangers, isn't he? If he's that Michael Ball, the one that was at Everton.
He was at Rangers, yeah. I don't think it's the one who did the West End shows.
Oh, shame it's not him. Can you imagine him against Emil Heskey? That would be a good head-to-head tonight, wouldn't it?
They could do a song together.
I think attribute-wise, he's not too bad in this game. I don't know if he's a particularly good centre-back, though. I thought he was more like a DM, but yeah, we'll wait and see. But he's in. So I think Liverpool strikers could do well here. I know they're not normally a team that batter opposition, but I think there's a big mismatch. I don't rate either of these 2 centre-backs. So, I'll call Heskey to do something tonight now.
We got 9 minutes to go and 8 teams to get through. So
hurry up then.
Should probably speed up
too much. That's the end of Newcastle. No one's got them either. Still got 8 teams to go. Wow. Okay, 1 minute a team. Norwich. Done. Move on. Yep.
Yeah. One thing on Norwich, I noticed that Barry Quinn, he started every game at the start of the season, 4.5 million. He doesn't seem to feature now, even when they've got 3 central midfielders. The only thing I noted.
Cool.
But yeah.
And no Marchant this week. I don't know where he is. Is he injured? I can't remember.
Not sure.
But he's
Can't remember.
not to be seen. Ipswich, some randomness here. I got Clapham. I bought him in last week. He's no-showed, but that's because we haven't got no up arrows. So if you played Tarico this week, you've been a bit unlucky. It's obviously less likely you've got to get something off of him now. There's no arrows at all in this whole team. And also, obviously, people who got Redknapp did well last week and probably would have expected maybe something again tonight, but he's on the bench. Just Fotheringham and Holland. So classic Ipswich, right? Lots of players, lots of capable players, and there's just rotation. Same in defence. Breen and Doherty are in at centre back. Those two have not been reliable starters either, have they? And Marcus Stewart's back this week. If anyone went there last week and got a bit shafted by that,
He'll score this week. Now everyone's got rid of him.
And then Tottenham, probably not much to say here. Is Everington normally playing left midfield, or is that a bit different?
Clark's injured, so Zega's dropped down to left back, and that's where Etherington's come in.
Cool. And other than that, we're as expected, I think, for Tottenham. Blackburn, one of their many formations. We've got the 4-2-4, as most of us call it. Burton O'Brien in the middle with 2 guy. Semi-expected, I would imagine, in this formation. No Peter Crouch to be seen, though. Neil Crouch has made the bench. I don't know if he went to Depot or something in the week, Peter Crouch, and changed his name. But Neil Crouch is on the bench, but no Peter Crouch. So Janssen up front, anyone that held him, fair play. You've got a midfielder playing centre forward this week. Could be something there.
Yeah, and I expect Solano to go off injured at some point, as he pretty much does every game. So you got Ludvigsen will probably go right wing when that happens.
Double up. They've got Lucas Neal on their double protection for Solano,
Yeah,
in case anything happens. And then quickly the last 4. So we'll start with Watford against Arsenal. Vega is back. I think he still had quite a lengthy period of time on a flag. So I wouldn't be surprised if he goes off here. And I don't think they've got a defender on the bench. I don't know who this Tom Lyons is. If he's a defender on the bench, maybe he'll get on. But Vega's a big risk to go off. I'm pretty sure it was like 10 days or something still on an orange flag. So that's not a good sign. But he's playing.
yeah.
And Noel Williams up front, you got him in your 4.5 team?
Captain. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not that bad.
He's good in this game, and a few people were asking about him in the chats this week, and I've got Libra in as 5.5 because I think he's good for the next 4 weeks. But if I went to the short term, I think Noel Williams, he's going to do well this week.
I think they've changed I think that bringing him in as well has maybe changed the positions of the strikers. Tommy Smith usually plays left, I think. Up against on the right today, that might be significant because that means he's up against Hudson, which is probably an easier battle than up against Lescott. So Tommy Smith owners have probably had a bit of a result there that he's up against Hudson. And then onto Arsenal, I'm fuming with myself a bit for not going Tikhonov. I really wanted to and then bottled it and got Perez in for safety of the start. Because I'd rather have the left midfielder against Watford than the right, and Tikhonov is playing on the left. So that's quite annoying. If Tikhonov outscores Perez by about 10 points, then it's not going to be a good stream for me, this.
Yeah, but you've got a ticket in the lottery. I haven't got any of their attacking assets. I got Ashley Cole. I'm sure Arsenal will concede again. But yeah, at least you've got to have a ticket to win the lottery here. And yeah, I think you've got every chance. The Pires did look pretty good in some of the sims. I think you'll be all right.
Yeah, I think he's got a good chance of doing something. I just think based on matchups, you'd rather have Tikhonov. I think if you saw the lineup in advance, but
definitely.
And then
we don't all get that privilege to see it in advance, do we?
Luke does. Sorry, can't say that. You'll hate me for saying that. I don't mean it. But yeah, and Henry up against Vega. So sometimes he plays on the left or the right. He can flip around. But he's up against Vega. So that may be good. Probably bad news for Vega if he's semi-injured. He's got to play against Henry. Then finally, Sunderland. Not much to say with them. I think this is first choice team. Sabon back on the bench because Teal's back. Obviously, we saw him running in from the right to the AMC role, but the actual first choice winger's back. 3 centre midfielders on the bench for them as well, Sunderland. So if you own Cahill, I don't know if people would have bought him in yet. As you say, Sunderland have got quite good games for 4 weeks, so their assets could have been popular from this week. Arca was another one of my midfield options that I was weighing up. So in the end, I couldn't resist the chance to have a piece of the Arsenal game, but I like Arca for the next 4. And then finally, we've left the best till last, so you can talk us through this wild formation from Everton.
We're going to call this the the 5. I'm going to call it the 5-2-1-1-1.
Okay.
I don't really know what it is, but I've never seen that formation before in all the time I've ever played this game. Seen variants of it, but not GX running into the middle. So I am a bit annoyed. I did bench Titoff. I was talking to FPL Richie, and he was like, "Nah, first bench all day long." And he's got the up attacking arrow up front, and yeah, that's a bit of a shame. And then GX running into the middle, which means really McAteer is just going to be attacked by Arca. Yeah, so I like you said, Arca could have a great game this week. Yeah, and Stubbs, who's played a few games, he's not playing. You've got Unsworth, Paz, and Weir. Weir seems to be pretty much locked as a central defender. I think if you're going to get a 4.5 million central defender in, I think Weir's a better option now than Bernard. He plays week in, week out. It's good for bonus as well.
Yeah, I'm not. There's always players every year I like to take on. Wood, I think I've said it enough times. I don't particularly rate him, and a lot of people have gone there. And Bernard's been off my radar as well. I know he's obviously got a few hauls, but I've never been the biggest fan of that either. So if you haven't got the money to upgrade, I think there's a few sort of good defences running into good games. So I think it's a good time to get a Middlesbrough defender in after this week.
Yeah.
So I think if you can, I think Bernard to Atherton would be quite a good move if you can't afford to get to Southgate or Honcho.
I think Bernard will have 2 games at left back. He then should go back to left wing. They have got a pretty bad run, Newcastle, so it's a good time to jump off if you're if you need to bring a Borough defender in. We've got 2 minutes to kick off, so I don't know if people want to put in the chat who they think the first goal scorer is going to be.
Well, Luke's already asking what minutes Wood's going to score in.
Rushbury.
Henry to blank. The first goal's got to be in that Watford game. I'm going to go Heskey, first goal scorer.
Gifton Noel Williams for me.
That's never happened before. Someone's captain. That's a beginner's luck if that happens for you there. Beginner's luck on the stream if you get your captain first goal scorer. And in the 4.5 team, I should add. Yeah. We're in the same captain, aren't we, tonight? You're on Viduka as well?
For the same reason as you, yeah. I just think he's got better upside. Man United will probably go 2-0 up in the first half an hour and then just switch off. But I've got Ruud as vice captain. I assume you have as well.
Yeah, their teams have just gone up on the screen now. They're not actually, I suppose they've both got a Man United defender, both got a Chelsea defender. Well, both of us got Matt Zedis. I'm not usually got much company in that respect, but I'm not the only person in the game that's got him.
I think he's something like 8 or 9% owned. He's kind of the goalkeeper where you kind of think he's not quite as good as Headman, and he's gradually going to score less points than Headman throughout the season, but I'm not going to change him.
I'm just hoping for the 29 save points that the sim data suggesting we're going to get to. Few predictions in the chat. Good Johnson 6-minute header from Moyd. I'd gladly take that because I've got him. Phillips 3rd minute from Mark. Marcus Stewart for Henry. Remember Nathan's going for Heskey to score. Yeah, I agree with that. Rushbury from Chris. Interesting. Titoff from Jack. Or 2 people, Jack and Billy, both gone Titoff.
The fantasy football scout saying, why would Bernard go to left wing? So he's playing out of position all season on the left wing. But the left backs, whoever's playing left backs got injured. But he's only out for 2 weeks, so I would assume that the left back will come back.
Yeah, Robbie Elliott
will go back up to left wing.
Yeah, Robbie Elliott. They basically Newcastle haven't really got a left midfielder is the problem. So there's a couple of defenders that can play left midfield, and obviously it's Bernard that's. They're still out to defend Newcastle. The usual, just passing through the usual. All the home teams are about to go attacking. Even Norwich are going to have a go in the East Anglian derby. Hopefully that gets first slot on match of the day tonight.
The Premiership now, so moved over to ITV.
Oh, it might have done 2000. What's it? What
we like that? We're dead. Early injury at Ellen Road.
Oh, they haven't got a defender on the bench, have they? Did they name one? I don't think they did.
Ian Hart. He's going to be playing centre back.
They're going to have to play him in the back 3, aren't they?
Yeah. Probably quite good if you own him. I bet there's some people out there who still own him, definitely.
Probably bad news for anyone that's got Larson, because obviously he would have been, with Hart not playing, he gets penalties probably and all those sorts of things. It's just another person into the randomness of the penalty debate now, isn't it? That Hart's back on and may take them.
Tottenham out with an attacking formation. I think Wood will be good in 2 weeks' time when they play against Newcastle.
I like these teams just taking them 90 seconds to realise to attack. Man United came out, first 5 seconds we were attacking. Arsenal and Watford played cagey for the first 90 seconds, then thought, we're both going to attack as well. J-Lo strategy. Oh, he's gone for brace for Dwight York, nothing for Van Nistelrooy. I've seen it in Sims, to be fair. I'm sure you have as well.
Yeah.
Van Nistelrooy is the more reliable one, but there obviously are Sims where it's 3-0 United, York hat-trick or something. It's not beyond the realms of possibility, something like that happening here.
I wanted York this week, but the Carboni injury and the Southgate suspension, I had to take both of them out, so I couldn't get York in the end. But yeah, anyone who's got him in, I think he's a good hold for the next 4 weeks.
I think a lot of people, understandably, wanted more chance here for Gerrard quickly. I think it's a good time to get 3 Man United in. I assume most people have maybe got Ekiog already and Van Nistelrooy already. So the third one, a lot of people would naturally pick Chadwick, I think. But if you wanted to be a bit different, then the striker double up. I don't know how many people have done it. I'm sure there are some people, probably even some that are watching us tonight, that did go Van Nistelrooy and York. He was my second choice to go Johnson to replace Boxic this week. I just say couldn't resist. I'm not a biggest fan of maybe having 2 strikers from the same team.
Steve Link's already got his cards out.
Not Uriah Rennie.
No, Greg Steve Link, he loves a card even more than Uriah. Someone in the chat, Andrew, the jawline Gills has to be of Nordic descent. So my lookalikes I've had in the past have been Idiger Johnson and Sebastian Vettel. Already, Fantasy Connection already clocked that one.
I can see the Vettel one a bit. I think there's enough. There's enough.
I used to get it all the time. It's stopped now. No, I'm an 8th Irish. That's it. I'm English basically.
Yeah, you're about the same as me, I think.
Yeah, we're all like an 8th or a 16th Irish in England, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm English at least 2 generations back. I think 3 generations back. I've got Scottish on one side, Irish on the other, but it's family members I never met that died before I was born, so I don't quite know if that counts. But it counts.
I think with that beard, there's definitely some Scottish in there.
Yeah, a bit Braveheart is going, isn't it? I don't know to do something about this a little bit. Here come Chelsea. Not much going on at the minute. It's been fairly quiet. A couple of weeks, get 2 or 3 goals by now. But hopefully not back to sort of... It felt like the first 2 or 3 weeks, all Petit.
Has Martin still got Petit?
Martin has still got Petit, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those don't get rid, keep holding and hope for points, isn't it?
I think Luke said on his stream he's probably got a bit more upside now. Carboni's normally a challenger to him for penalties and things, so I think Petit's probably fairly guaranteed to take a penalty for Chelsea now. So, yeah, not the worst hold. I think Martin was a bit unlucky. He's held him since the double when obviously Zenden went mad. Carboni got a return. Lampard scored and basically Petit did nothing. The one midfielder of the 4 that did nothing, and that was the one Martin had. I think he had the misfortune of being on stream that week as well, sitting in the chair that I'm in. So we'll see how that goes.
Super unlucky. Here comes Larson.
Larson.
Bowyer. Rickard at the back, dispossessing Bowyer.
Don't tell me he's already gone to play right wing. I think we've seen that in season 1 and season 2. Obviously, he doesn't flash up that they've done that, but they do change positions sometimes in game. Go on, Perez. What do I want from that game? Loads of save points on my attacking players to score.
Well, at Mazidis, does that count as a save? That's a second save already.
Yeah. That's a save.
Well, he's low owned, so yeah, we want Atmas 30 shots and a clean sheet for Mazidis, don't we?
I do think in Martin Sims there was 2 clean sheets, of which Arsenal had 15 plus shots in both of them. Can you imagine if we got something like that? Obviously, that's not 15 plus shots on target. We should add. Could have all got over and no save point. But I think it's quite fun owning him when I'm on here because his name flashes up like every 5 minutes at Mazidis to be involved in something. So I don't mind owning him. Yeah, I don't mind owning him. It's not. I think we've spoken a bit on the Discord. A few people about. There was some questions about like Jääskeläinen this week. Like, who do you replace him with? And there isn't. Like Hedman's normally the standout keeper, but now he's got a blank in 13. So a lot of people with Hedman as well have also got.
Everton hit the post.
Everton.
Classic. Had not meant it. What was he trying to do? I'd go Kirkland if I was wildcarding now, or I had an injured keeper. I think extra 0.5. I think he's worth it.
Yeah, I would as well, but not enough to take Atmanzidis out for a hit for.
No,
I think
definitely not.
because I think it's pretty clear we're going to get one clean sheet off him in about the next 30 game week or 25 game weeks, whatever it is. It's not going to be much more than that, is it? So
No, that'll be today as well.
oh yeah, that would be. I think it'd be the highlight of my season if I own him in the week. He keeps a clean sheet and gets a load of save points. That
Here
would
come
be
Leicester against United.
their one shot of the game, is it? Trevor Benjamin. Oh, it's Dean Sturridge, the other one. Don't pass it back. Have a shot. Is that what they're going to resort to? Darren Eady firing
he had a pile driver. It hit Gary Neville and went off for a throw-in. He must have hit that bloody hard.
Left back booking for Blackburn.
So I was looking on the ownership earlier, and Ehiog's about 48-50% owned, something like that. But I started to look at some of the teams at the top, and I think every single team down to about 13 when I stopped clicking has got Ehiog, but there's no one with the double up on Man United defenders, and there's very few people with a double up on the Chelsea defenders in the top 12 as well. Phillips, yeah. So I was suspecting more. There's very few.
Chelsea soon, so obviously they got the tricky game next week. They're away to Arsenal in the sim next week. Phillips goal again. Again. Feels like he's got more than 8 in 11 games.
Cracking ball in from Lawson there. Excellent. That's an assist for the 4.5s.
Yeah, he's solid, isn't he?
Did anyone have Kevin Phillips in the chat? Let's have a look.
Hard, right? Because it's 3 premiums. I could have afforded him actually this week.
Ramanathan had Kevin Phillips, but surely in under 5 minutes. I will give him it. That's pretty good. Well done.
Yeah, he's a hard one to own this week because you wasn't really going to captain him, and he's obviously always got a chance to score. But where would you have ranked him this week? You'd probably put him 4th amongst the premiums. I think you would have rather have owned Van Nistelrooy, Viduka, and Henry, wouldn't you? If he was on a free hit.
Yeah. I haven't got the fixtures in front of me, so I can't think who's. Let's just have a quick look.
Oh, Moyes captain Phillips, I think. Super Kevin captain. Fair play if you went. Fair play 1 for owning him and 2 putting the armband on him. I don't know. Maybe he hasn't got Van Nistelrooy and Viduka, but
yeah, I think you would have. It depends if Man United and Leeds had bad games next week. You might have gone Phillips, but they've both got decent matches, so I can understand why people wouldn't get Phillips in.
Yeah, but the next 4 I've got. So I very heavily weighed up Arca for the next 4. And say back onto Chelsea, that defensive double up I think is pretty good after next week. So obviously next week they're away to Arsenal, so I don't expect them to get battered, but I wouldn't expect a clean sheet for Chelsea in that game. Maybe 1-0 Arsenal or something. It might be a common result, 1-1, something like that. But then they've got 3 home games after that, which is probably quite a good chance they'll keep a clean sheet in all 3 of them. Yeah. So I wouldn't be against a defensive double up in game week 14.
So when because I brought in Southgate, though, I brought in Babiaro, he got injured. Then I brought Southgate in for him, then he got sent off, and I brought in Southgate because I wanted him for next week. So I've now got Silvestre, which I risked because he's flagged, but he started. So next week I've got Ashley Cole. It's either do I keep him for the Chelsea game and then move him to a Chelsea defender the week after, or do I get him out next week and bring in Atherton or Honcho?
Chelsea aren't great for scoring in away games, are they? You'd probably risk Cole, wouldn't you, for the clean sheet? 2 top teams.
I think it's worth it because they'll probably cancel each other out, won't they? Playing 4-4-2 against each other.
Yeah, I think 1-0 Arsenal was a fairly likely result in that game. I think if you was, without seeing any sim data or running any sims, but it seems like a 1-0 Arsenal type game to me. That.
Yeah, so I couldn't get to Phillips, but I figured Sunderland's run so good, I got in Libra, and I think I can hold him for 4 weeks. I didn't really see anyone else going for him, but I figured he's like a lot of people seem to focus on the sim data, but the sims, I mean, the guys who do the sim data are brilliant and they do so much work into it. But they do vary, and it's like they'll all say it's very, very hard to replicate. And I just tried to trust our sim, as in the game file. And Libra's been scoring loads. Henry's not. Get in Libra. Don't go anywhere near Henry. That's my kind of general rule. Is just stick to the. I know there's no form in the game. We've some of us discussed that, but I trust the form of the players that are doing well so far.
Was Libra 6 million less than Phillips? I don't know if Phillips
5.5.
Yeah, I can't see Phillips outscoring him enough to justify that height difference. You'd like to think you get something out of Libra.
I'm assuming that Sibon, being Sean Gregan booked, so I'm assuming Sibon probably started more in the preseason sims, so he's more expensive, but Libra seems to be playing, so I think he's value.
I think defence is an interesting one for a lot of people in the coming weeks. I think so. A lot of people have got Bernard. I do think there's reasons to move him on. Not because I think he'll play left back more now. I still think he'll be back on the left wing, as you say, in a couple of weeks when Robbie Elliott comes back. But he's not really one for bonus points. So, and Newcastle aren't particularly good at clean sheets either. So you are literally picking him purely for obviously a higher probability of an attacking return because he's playing in midfield. But
I think, as I've had him since the start, and I think we've got very lucky with his returns. It's not going to continue. Apparently, what a goal! Gareth Bale 1-0 v Wales. Wow.
Oh, he's still.
That's fantastic news.
If you're Welsh. We haven't got no Welsh. We're Scottish and Irish here.
No, I'm not going to claim to be Irish.
Here comes Phillips.
Kevin Phillips.
Cross this time.
Just wide.
So yeah, I don't know what people will do. So there's maybe issues with him moving forward. As you say, I think you want to take a chance somewhere. Just owning a Man United defender is not going to be enough because you've already mentioned everyone's got him near the top. So there's no upside to owning Ekiog because everyone's got him. Mm-hmm. So if you want to gain an edge, you need two, right? If
but would you go 2 Man United defenders and then you can't get, assuming you may have Ruud, then you can't get to Chadwick, you can't get to Veron, you can't get to Nedved. I mean, if let's say Giggs got injured, Nedved will be gold. Because he was the one I was going to
get now. I'm going to get him. So Perez was purely a 1 week move for me. And next week I've got some choices. Muzzy, is it? Leicester have got Leicester at home to Watford next week. And say just purely playing the fixture, and I think there's probably quite a good chance it might get an up arrow in that game. I'm maybe going to get it for 1 week to replace Perez next week, and then after that I may risk Nedved for 2 weeks because Man United have got Watford as well and Norwich, I think from memory, 14-15. So even if he plays one of those games, Nedved, I've still got higher hopes he'll get something than Chadwick gets into. I'm just not. I owned Chadwick for a large period of last season for 5 million, and he was infuriating. You think, he plays for Man United, he's 5 million. I have to have him. You play him every week for those reasons that he plays for Man United. He got so many 2 points last season. Now he's 9 million and people are getting him again. And he's got a few more corners maybe now, but nothing's really changed, I don't think. I still think he's only going to score 7-8 goals in the season.
Yeah.
I've got no interest at all in owning Chadwick. I say a lot of people have got him in this week for Carbo. Now I get why. Say they've got good fixtures and he's pretty much a nailed starter. Go on, Viduka.
Half volley. Yes. Come on.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've got I'd rather punt. It's only going to be for 2 games, that spot, and then I'll probably move that midfielder on again because I've only got one sort of semi-premium midfield space in my team, so that will be rotatable for me. And I'd rather punt Nedved for 2 games against Watford and, say it's right wing back again, a situation, isn't it? If he doesn't play, But that's my current plan anyway. Perez to Nedved and then reassess after those games.
There's a lot of Viduka in the chat, as you can imagine.
I don't know what his ownership is. I mean, it's definitely gone up. When I got him in, I got him quite early, to be fair. Game week 6, something like that. He's only about 6% owned at that point.
Yeah, he's 27, I checked. But that'll be before the stats are updated. Benno just said in the chat, I would have descended into naming my favourite fruits at this point. We can do favourite fruits if you want, Benno.
That's a half-time job, that.
Yeah.
It's a half-time job.
Yeah, we'll save that for half-time.
There you go, Alan Thompson, taking more corners for Villa. I thought I noticed, I got him in randomly. The week Villa played Watford, I couldn't afford Hendry for that game. And Thompson was playing at the time and he was 5 million. So I thought I'll just punt him instead. And unfortunately, for the week Villa played Watford, he didn't play. They played Hitzelsberger randomly in central midfield. So he got dropped. and I haven't had an opportunity to take him out yet. So he's just been sticking around sort of first sub most weeks for 5 million. But I noticed last time I was on that he took a few corners. And you've always got a chance of something when you've got a set piece taker, right? So maybe I'll just persevere with him. Villa do score a reasonable number of goals. He plays the majority of games in central
Injury news,
midfield.
Old Trafford, not Sylvester, please. Is it off?
Maybe I won't be getting him in next week then. There's that plan up in smoke. 5 minutes after I came up with it. Oh no, who am I going to get now for Leicester against Watford?
Mackinac.
All the other central midfielders are rubbish, aren't they?
Etherington.
Simon Davis.
Simon Davis. 1-0.
Clean sheet wipeout for Blackburn. I don't know if anyone's really got. I've got Weatherall on my bench. I don't know if anyone else has got anyone in that game. Yeah, big goal for Alex McLeish. Didn't see you got the assist there. Was it Everington? Yeah.
I didn't see. Yeah, Etherington. Yeah. So I think with Blackburn having their wingers pushing high up, the wingers are probably for Tottenham are probably going to have a bit of an easy run down there. So it's Etherington and I can't remember who their right winger is now.
Anderton, isn't it?
Anderton, of course.
Well, Newcastle having a go. Probably not a good idea at Anfield.
No, it's not. Look, Heskey. Here we go, Heskey. No.
Got his own rebound, does he? Got his own rebound. Surely the keeper's still on the floor. How's he missed?
Moyd, no fruit, please.
I don't know.
We definitely got to talk about fruit at half time.
Big minute there for Shay Given. They went attacking and within 30 seconds, Given had to make about 4 saves. Rob Pick having a good night. Got Viduka vice captain and he's got Simon Davis in his team.
Nice.
So Simon Davis, the postman of the season, says Alan. Has he been that reliable?
He's been really good.
Yeah, I do like someone that just plays central midfield with no arrows in a 4-4-2. I say Jermaine Wright's obviously scored 4 or 5 goals in that role. I'd be interested to see if if Cahill does something similar for Sunderland.
Here come Arsenal. Henry on the volley. Well wide.
So you got Mika Hyde, who was priced up what seemed like quite a higher price at 6 million. So there's obviously something in the preseason sims that suggests he's not bad. And he plays that role. So Cahill was just signed into that role. I can't remember what he was priced up at, but it was reasonably pricey. Was he 6 million as well, Cahill? 6.5?
Yeah, something like that. I like Patrick Berger. Does he play centre mid as well?
He did in the season 2 and did really well there. Is it him and Gerrard first choice? I think in our sim. I think that's the more typical one. I know Biscan tonight, but yeah, he's good. Berger, another one.
Just rubbish with Liverpool assets. Just very few to own for a decent team. I've noticed no one's even talking about Huppier anymore. It's not even on the radar. I don't see anyone getting him in.
Which could be a mistake because if you could just trust him and Biscan played, I still think they're as good as the likes of Chelsea and Middlesbrough. Here comes Bradford. No, handball, is it? Pen?
Penalty to Chelsea.
Here's Martin's moment. It's going to be Petit. We're talking about it. Send him off, ref.
Joke there from captain. His team, they just need to get a handle on him from brooms. Terrible.
Here we go. There's Martin's got his return 3-4 weeks later than what we was expected it.
Who got the assist? Did you see?
It was just a random handball, I think. So you won't get one. Yeah. We don't need them shutting up shop. Come on, good Johnson. Maybe Bradford will have a go now, and then Chelsea can take advantage. That's the plan. Sunderland again, looking quite bright. Sunderland. This is 5th or 6th attack from them.
Here goes Kevin Phillips. Beat Ever offers to the ball. Oh my goodness, 2-0.
Absolute fire. Who said form's not a thing in this game?
Libra assisted the assister there.
Those confusing Everton arrows are obviously confusing everyone, aren't they?
Yeah.
Not working. Not working.
Here come Arsenal. Bassett Das with a cross. Andy Johnson. Come on,
We're
Atmazidis.
going to get a save.
There we go.
We're not going to get a save. I'd probably take that, to be fair, because it's an assist and a goal from two fairly low-owned players. So if Arsenal, we basically need Henry, from a selfish point of view, we basically need Henry to keep quiet, right?
Yeah.
So I could cope with Johnson maybe having a bit of a good night. Yellow card for Roque Jr.
I don't know how well owned Henry is, to be fair. I think a lot of people got in the mids, didn't they?
Yeah, it's a lot of people have gone. I'm assuming the most popular front line now is Van Nistelooy, Viduka, Wood, and it wasn't a week to take one of those out for Henry, was it?
No.
So unless someone went there last week, I think Bento was being brave. You see, he took a -8 and took Henry out as part of a -8 this week, which I thought was very brave.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that.
But he's got away with it so far in the first 23 minutes.
Alan Matardi, Phillips only scores when I don't own him. Yeah, I've been through that with Phillips as well. He is such a frustrating striker to own. You've just got to keep him. He tends to not do that with strikers.
He's streaky.
Yeah,
He is streaky. And him more than most, I think, can score in games you don't expect. I remember him scoring a couple at Highbury, and I think he might have scored at Old Trafford in one of the seasons as well.
Ian Hart on free kick. Oh, just wide.
So even a lot of the premium ones, I don't hold much faith in them in like what would be considered like bad away games. But Phillips is probably more than anyone is the one that maybe does score. Shearer to a point as well, but
yeah. If I had to choose a striker to score away, it'd be Kevin Phillips, definitely.
Yeah, I think so. Or Viduka. Here comes Tottenham again. Simon Davis again. Should be Kevin Phillips support group, said Perlo's beard. Aratravo would have to have sold. Yeah, that's the common problem. Aratravo's mentioning it. Couldn't sell Ruud or Viduka for Phillips or Henry. I could have got him. I took Boxic up and Carboni. And if I would have done Carboni down to Arca, that would have saved me 1.5. And that would have given I had a little bit in the bank. I could have done Boxic to Phillips.
Viduka again. Another volley. No, that was interesting. Gary Kelly took the free kick there, not Ian Hart.
Really? Yeah, what's Crosty done? Kicked it straight to Lee Bowyer. Ooh. Here's Robbie Keane. Ooh. He's wanted more save points, didn't he, Crosty? I kicked it straight to Robbie Keane.
Pete Carter saying Ian Hart thought Singh started. So Singh did start, but Dewberry went off injured in like the first minute. So Ian Hart came on. We think he's playing centre back.
Yeah, they didn't have a defender on the bench, Leeds. They went very attacking. There's no one else in their team that's got the ability to play defence, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
I've seen teams. I think Ian Hart is purely a defender left, isn't he? I have seen people with that attribute play left of a back three before.
Okay.
He's obviously not going to be a very good one, I don't think, in terms of centre back attributes. To be fair, I couldn't tell you what his attributes were, but I can't imagine he's got a higher jumping and things like that. But he's going to be a bit of a Reeser, isn't he, playing at centre back? You'd think, based on attributes, you would assume.
Yeah.
If
Middlesbrough, I don't know because I've never been on the editor in my life, so here comes Lampard. No. Oh, Arfex again. I don't know how it works, the editor, so fair play anyone who's a simmer, but you can see if they're actually able to play out of position.
Go on.
SIE don't score.
Go on.
Oh.
Zenden. A fair few corners here, to be fair, Zenden.
Change of tactic.
Go away.
Chelsea have probably gone back to normal.
So we've learnt now no Carboni means Zenden takes over on corners and Petit takes over on penalties. So we've got some learnings for another week or two.
Melberg off injured.
They've got no centre back on the bench. They've got two left backs though. Yeah, here comes one of them.
Bale 2-0. He's only played 2 games since November.
Loads of energy then, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, the 300-minute
headbutt, of course.
Adam Wright straight involved, taking corners. Only been on the pitch 5 seconds. He's already. You don't want to get in a fight with Alan Wright, would you? All 5'1" of him. He's come on and just like sort of demanding that he's taking corners straight away. And everyone, Dion Dublin, and everyone else just looked at him and gone, yeah, there you go, Alan, there's the ball, you take the corners, mate.
Eddie McGee, Phillips is the Vardy of ChampMan. Yeah, that's a good shout.
Yeah, that is probably a good shout, to be fair. I'd agree with that. Apart from Sunderland won't win the league, sort of, against all the expectations, I don't think.
Andy Martin, cheers for the piggy bank nod, captain. What's that?
When Arfexa made about 90 saves just now in a row, in the live text was brackets that had a piggy bank reference to it. Like, Paolo one-shot. Apologies for Ricardo Gardner owners. There's a clean sheet wipeout for Bolton and an injury as well.
Davis on for Carrick.
Probably an improvement, to be fair. It's probably done him a favour doing that substitute. Davis is better than Carrick on here.
That's just before the 30 minutes. So if Man City don't score again, Davis on for a 3-pointer.
Go on, pitcher.
Jeff.
Yeah, go on, Jeff. Playing in the middle of the midfield three, Dave. You know what we did together the other week.
Yeah.
Highlighted you wanted to be in the centre.
Was that Jeff Pitcher?
Was that an assist?
The back pages. Oh no, it was Tommy Smith. I think it was assistant Pitcher.
I called that before the game. He'd do well against Hudson. He's got. Well, I'll take that assist. Thank you, Jeff. Done all right for me since I got him in, Jeff Pitcher. To be fair, he what's that? 2 returns in 3, 2 returns in 4, or something.
I read the other day on a Championship Manager forum that apparently he's quite a good player in the game, as is Headman. He's a good player to sign. So, yeah, I think I need to get him in.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer now. He's clearly the best 4.5 until we get players like Johnston back.
Yeah.
Is Langley for Tottenham.
2-0 Tottenham.
I don't know how much he is.
I can't remember how much he is.
I don't know why Souness is shouting at him, because he's playing on the other side. It's the right back that's in trouble. It's John Curtis that's not doing a good job against Everington.
That's 2 assists now. I was going to get him in for the 4.5s this week, but I had 3 Tottenham players. I had to have taken out Sereni. Couldn't get him in.
Well,
I got Rushbury, Sereni, and Woods.
The only player in the whole game struggling to they want to pick 4 Tottenham players in their team.
They're all over the place, Everton. Oh my goodness.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
So yeah, I was talking. Yeah, so there's a bit of a debate about who's the best Watford midfielders. It's quite a tricky one because I've seen people saying, "Do we get rid of Petkoff? Do I keep him? Because he's obviously 7.5."
I can't say you pay that much for now. Vanazza is pretty much nailed now in a 3-man midfield. So if you want the extra security for 5 million, you get him.
Yeah. So right now, pitches on set pieces. Here comes Kevin Phillips. Oh, yeah. So right now, pitch is a brilliant asset. He's 4.5. But I think once Johnson comes back, which I think is about 10 weeks, then Johnson will come in. Petkoff will get the set pieces back, and then pitch is going to not play very much. So I think you either get him now and make the most of him, and then you probably have to get him out again in a few weeks.
I've got it in my head that I don't tend to like holding wild cards very long, so it's probably highly likely I'll be having sort of temptations to play my wild card around game week 20. So I haven't planned anything I haven't looked at the fixtures. I haven't done any sort of research around it, but usually I'd want to play my wild card to get the most use out of it. So I reckon somewhere between game week 20 and 25 is quite likely for me, and that might coincide with that sort of period when Johnson's back. There's another save. Go on.
Yeah, I want to shout out to Frenchie, who's used his second wild card already. Fair play.
Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
By game week 12, he's already gone. He was like, yeah, no, it's a good shout. I'm going to do it.
Did he make that much of a mess of his first one? Did he? He's played the second one. So Deacon's not even played one of his yet. He can't work out when to use his one.
I think he'll probably do wild cards 30, 36, free hit 37, wild card 38. I think that's his strategy.
I think he finally made his mind up, Deacon, that he was going to dead end United for the next 3 or 4 game weeks, and then wildcard them all out after this run of 4 games.
Yeah, in 16, that's a good strategy. I think you could do 18, but I think 16 is the way to go. What he's doing to Deacon, yeah.
I think he was talking about Middlesbrough maybe improving then, and a couple of other teams he listed. I've forgotten, but
yeah, I think Villa's run improves as well.
is the Man
It's
United
quite a bit
game
of a
on?
swing.
It is Remy Nathan. The Man United game is on.
Man United haven't had a single attack in 31 minutes. The absolute frauds. Yeah, that's true. Pillar's beard.
Robbie Savage calls not letting him through in the midfield, right? In trouble.
Lawson on free kicks. How's it go?
Oh, not again.
Here he goes.
Who's
Phillips
Chill?
and
Oh,
Chill.
is that Cahill? Cahill, that's meant to be, isn't it? Chill. I like that.
Sunderland got 12 players on the pitch.
Chill and Cahill and Chill. Yeah, I like that.
So AD Tour, no surprise, Etherington, a winger doing well against Blackburn. Yeah, so my predictions finally paid off after we did it on the pod.
Yeah. Did we? I can't remember. It was a few weeks ago now. Apologies if I've forgotten bits of it. But was this the formation to target, especially this 4-2-4 or Rushbury?
It's generally the Rushbury. There we go. 3-0 Spurs.
God knows what McLeish said here.
That's three assists for Etherington. Anyone got Etherington? That would be amazing if they did bring him in this week.
Netflix and Cahill, everyone's saying now after he's been referred to as Chill in the comms.
If anyone lives in Kent, where I'm from, obviously being a Gillingham fan, there used to be a nightclub in Canterbury called Chill. I'm gonna have to think of it as Cahill now.
I feel bad for Wood owners here, haven't you? Tottenham only scored 3 goals about twice all season, and he's not got a piece of any of it. Not that I'm complaining.
No.
So, to be fair, it could be worse. I've got Good Johnson as my third striker. He cost 5 million more, and he ain't done anything either. So
no, he hasn't.
This is the 4.5.
I always like thinking of so it's off topic, but rubbish nightclub names for small towns. Did you grow up in Essex or East London?
I grew up in East London, but I moved to Essex at college age, which is when I started to go out. So my sort of college age, sort of 16, 17-year-old me was going out in Romford or Basildon or Gants Hill. You've heard of Faces. You probably heard of that nightclub. It's quite popular with football players. It's sort of on the outskirts of London. Like a few West Ham players used to go there. My father-in-law is a policeman as well, and he used to have to do some door work and stuff around there. He's got some stories around some Jermaine Defoe and stuff, trying to get in with trainers on apparently when he was younger. That wasn't like back when I was that sort of age. That wasn't a thing in nightclubs, no trainers. But I think Jermaine Defoe, tried to pull out, who I am sort of thing, and get in there a couple of times.
Did you ever try the black socks over the trainers to try and get in?
No, I've never heard that one.
Yeah, it does work. I've done it. I think I did it once or twice. You take your socks off and put them over your trainers so they can't see you got trainers on.
To be fair, my bigger problem getting into nightclubs was the fact I looked about 12, not the fact that I had trainers on and needed to be covered up with socks. I was quite tall for 16, but incredibly skinny. Lanky streak of piss was what I was often referred to. If you've heard of that phrase before.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
So that was me growing up. So yeah, I didn't look old at all. No facial hair. So it looked young. And unfortunately for me, I was like the youngest. Like, I'm born in August, so of my school friends, I was the youngest.
So you were never getting in anywhere.
So yeah, that sort of age, they was all 18, and I still had to wait like 10 months till my birthday and stuff. And so it's not like I could pass as being older.
So you're hiding at the back of Wetherspoons where your mate's got the WKDs in, yeah?
Somehow there used to be the main club I used to go to was a place called Icon. I think it was a change. Go on, Viduka.
Yeah, there used to be an Icon in Maidstone.
I ended a golf pro, said Hollywood and Baz Vegas. Yeah, Baz Vegas is right. There used to be a jumping jacks there, which is where I could never get into. But Icon.
Where? Maidstone?
No, and this is in Basildon.
Yeah, there was a jumping jacks and an Icon in Maidstone. Yeah, I think they're the same company or something. Yeah.
But they used to change over security at 11 o'clock on the door. And if you to try and get in about 5 to 11, I think the old security were thinking about going home. You should switch off a little bit, and sometimes you could, more often than not, you could get in. I think if I tried when I was 16, 17, like 15 different times to go to a club, I think I got in at like 13. I don't remember too many occasions when like I had to just give in and go home because I couldn't get in. Worst case, there was a Hollywood Bowl there as well, and we just used to go and sit in the Hollywood Bowl in the seated area. And one of my mates, who looked a bit older, would just go and buy a jug or something and then bring it over and we'd have it.
Yeah.
So, usually got something out of the night, but
here comes Ramberg for Bolton. There we go. He's equalised.
Been quiet so far, to be fair, in this season. Both the Bolton strikers, like historically, they've been. Wallace especially has actually done quite well. I'm guessing he's getting on a bit now. I don't know how old he is in this game, but
they've got a bit of a rubbish run. They've got like a good home game followed by a bad away game, good home game, bad away game. So I think once the fixtures turn, they'll get more chances. Still think they're worth going to when they improve.
Well, there's a few here. Robin Wells, my hometown Ricky. I was talking to Robin on Twitter the other day. I didn't realise he lived so close to me.
Hold on. Oh, they've had turned down the penalty appeal. That was nearly a penalty to Blackburn.
The end doesn't matter to anyone. Who's going to be on their pens in this game? Tugo? Probably. Is it him?
I'm not sure. I think it's Tugo.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't heard much from the Villa game. Here goes
Dion. I could really do without that clean sheet. There's always the precursor to how my night's going to go. Oh, go on, Thompson. It's usually, literally, my arrow tends to depend on Headman. If Coventry let a goal in, I've got a reasonable chance of a green. If Coventry keep a clean sheet, it's a definite red. That tends to be how it works with me. He's been the big thorn in my side this year. Yeah. I reckon I'm probably about 40, 50 points down because of goalkeeper choices.
I think the reason I'm about 50th is because I had him until the 4th week and then took him out game week 5 on the wild card.
You had him for a bit of it.
I had him for the first 4, yeah, and he smashed it, and now I've got Amazidis, so that's why I'm not near the top.
That goes down as one of the worst wild card moves going, doesn't it?
With Serrani as my backup. Oh, big injury at Stamford Bridge. Please don't be John Terry. Oh dear.
Zola.
That's my dead team in the mud. Hoekstra coming off. That's not a big injury.
That's quite annoying. I think I wanted to play him next week. I can't think of who Bradford have got next week, but I think I had him penciled in to start next
They've
week.
got Sunderland at home. They've got a nice run. They've got Sunderland home, Norwich away, Tottenham home.
No doubt we'll find out. It's a Joby McAnuff one. He'll be out for about 3 weeks, miss all the good games, and then come back.
You're right. Cards out, yeah. So hold on. So you've already got Pitcher. You've already got Thompson. And how much is he?
So I've got Hoekstra at 5 million, Thompson at 5 million, Pitcher 4.5, and Nolan at 4.5. I've got 4 midfielders that are 5 million or less.
You could go for the double up for Watford and also get in Venazza. Yeah, that would be a good move.
Yeah, I don't know which one I'd want to play then, though, because usually I only need to play one of my mids. And if you've got 2 Watford, how do you pick then? Which one to pick?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Kieran Dyer booked. Don't know if people have still got him. I had him for a bit earlier in the season. Hoekstra, good one, Graham. I like that.
I think it's Hoekstra because it's Dutch. OE is like a sound, but I might be wrong. I've heard him called Hoekstra by a few of you lot.
Yeah, John Shanley's in trouble for next week. So Headman is out, obviously no game. Weatherall out, no game. And now Hoekstra injured. Well, we don't know how long the injury is yet, we should say. He could be back, couldn't he, for next week? He's not guaranteed he's out. But I've got Hoekstra and Weatherall as well. So, and so I already booked in taking Perez out. So maybe a few problems for me next week. We'll deal with that next week, though. Is Panda sleeping again? Asked in James. He probably is sleeping again. Chance for Coventry. Danny, it's the Villa game. Come on, Villa. Anyone score. I'd take anyone scoring in that game.
I missed this on the chat. Motley Barnett's. We're the Jumping Jacks and Icon in Coventry. It was at the Sky Dome, although I commonly referred to it as the Porcupine Territory for the Pricks. Thierry Henry. At Mercedes. There we go. What a keeper.
I suggested a couple of weeks ago I was going to get a pen and paper and keep a tally of his saves to try and just amuse myself throughout the stream. How many save points I was going to get? Yet again, I haven't done it. I feel like that must be 6 saves already.
He's been signed by Watford on our save, hasn't he? He wasn't there at the start.
Manzidis?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't start at Watford. No.
So there's a I think there's a bug or something in the game where there's a lot of good Greek players. So if you ever play in the game and look at the youth players from Greece, you can get some really good ones. Let's go for the under 21s from Greece and from Belarus as well. There's so many good ones from Belarus.
There's a few strikers, isn't there? I know Sigalko is obviously the well-known one, but there's a couple of others as well. I think there's one that sometimes is signed by Sunderland. I don't know if he's a pre-booked-in transfer. I think he's on like PETR is his first name, and his surname's like Couture or something.
Right.
He's quite good. He often, in my sims, ended up at Sunderland. So often, in fact. So I thought it was like one of those pre-booked-in transfers you can't do anything about. Like the Robin, when he goes, it's already booked in, isn't it? When you start the game, Robin.
Yeah.
He's already going to PSV. Oh dear.
Aziz signed from AEK in season 1. Cheers, captain.
FPL he's missed the deadline. He's got Ricard captain away to Leeds and Weatherall vice captain, who's obviously conceded 3 goals already.
Robin saying, Jules, that's not on this patch. What's that? Is that on the different patch with the Greek players, Robin? Yeah, it's 0.68 patch for the Super Greeks.
There's a goal. It's Ramberg again. Missed the assist. Wally again, is it? 2 assists for Wally? Yeah. We saw it in season 1, didn't we, that he took some corners and things.
Did you see that? It said Wally sent a cameraman into the hoardings and he got a yellow card for it.
What a Wally. That makes him. There you go. Beat everyone in the chat to that one. Yeah, Luke's just in the chat. Yeah, that guy, that's the striker I'm thinking about in the chat. Yeah. Couture, but I think he's Belarusian. He's not a bad player in this.
So for anyone that doesn't know, Man City kick off apparently. Oh yeah,
yeah,
so they just seeded, haven't they? Sorry.
That's what happens. They watch football, mate. Do you know when we watch football, if you let a goal and you kick off to restart? Did you not know that?
We're going to have another one now. The away end erupts.
I'll tell you what's going to happen. Bolton are going to kick off.
I could have told you that. Evans caught off guard. 2-2. There we go. Goals are coming now.
In that game, yeah, high scoring.
So if you download the game, you tend to download the 0.60 patch, and then there's updates 0.65, 0.68, and 0.68's ironed out a lot of the bugs, and that's generally the better one to play. But we're playing the 0.60 patch.
Which is the one I've always played, to be fair. Is it bad that I've played this game for 20 years and I've never played with any other database apart from the original one?
Have you not? I've only played 6.0 and 6.8, but now 6.8 is better. I think it has less of. There's a few bugs which it irons out, but then the one you can download from the is it ChampMan 102 website or something like that. There's something called Nix Patcher which gets rid of loads and loads of the bugs. It's like the yellow card bug, the fact that everyone's positioning goes up, so it like kills games, so the scoring goes really low, and there's tons of them there, and there's loads of add-ons you can do, like coloured attributes. It's really, really good.
The goal, Porcel, yeah. Arfecto, he's 200 saves, keeps saving all the shots from my players, and then lets the ones in that not from one of my players. I think it was a Zenden corner. I think there's a lot of corners. Zenden must have taken about 15 corners in this game. Was that from another one of those?
Yeah, corners? It was Zenden. Yeah. I think a few people went with Zenden.
I think some people did consider that as the Carboni out option. Just literally move to the other winger.
I think they did. Yeah, I can see why. It's good move. Yeah, Desai was saying use Nick's patch at awesome. Yeah, and that guy's got a lot of free time. I don't know how he's done that. That's a half-time whistle.
Not too bad for 3-0-0s. What a surprise! 4-0-0s, in fact. What a surprise that Headman's involved in one of them. Who would have predicted that before kickoff? Maybe a bit more surprising that Man United Leicester is one of the 4 games.
Yeah, you that's really surprising.
No shots really either. Really in that game, it's not been a lot, has it? It's not like Man United have battered them, or not seemingly, based on what we've seen on the screen at least. You obviously don't know what's happening sort of behind the scenes. They could have had all the possession, for example, but
Yeah,
been
but
quiet.
hasn't Juan Sebastian Veron been an absolute fraud on this patch, on this season? He's been terrible, hasn't he?
You just want some consistency, right? Season 1, he was awful. I started with him from like game week 1 in season 1, thinking this guy is an absolute beast in this game. I'm having him, and persevered for so long in game week 1, and he was bad pretty much all season. Then season 2, I would argue he probably marginally over delivered on expectation. Would you say? What he did quite well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did well. He was only just off what Ruud scored. I think he was really good.
Yeah, I just remember that based on the pre-season sims I ran, the only players that were averaging over 200 points in season 2 were Van Nistelooy, Veron, and Viduka.
Mm.
And I'm pretty sure about 8 to 10 players ended up, if not getting over 200, or very close to it. But he was way over Viduka. I think he may have got like 240, 250 or something, more in that sort of ballpark. But yeah, this year, I don't know what's causing this, but yeah, he's probably the biggest flop of all, I think, so far.
So Pete Carter's on two returns so far, but they are both yellow cards. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, Benno's -8's not working out. What a shit show. Yeah.
Have you had any returns so far? Just Viduka?
And picture assist.
Picture assist. What have I had?
So I've got
at Mazidis, I've got about 50 save points. I think I've got
all my 3 clean sheets as well at the moment.
Ashley Cole's obviously yet another clean sheet wipeout. There's no clean sheets in the 6 games since I brought him in. That's about it.
Yeah, the only good news is those that are getting this. There's Everington and Wally and Phillips, really, aren't they? They're the 3 that are it's highly likely they're going to be in team of the week, I would guess, from what we've seen so far. But no, I don't think the ownership in any of those 3 is particularly high. I haven't learned my lesson. I've taken -4s now, 3 or 4 weeks running, and very rarely does it really pay off. Usually, at least one of the 2 players I bring in does nothing. I say it was Clapham last week, got 1 point, and this week it was Perez and Good Johnson. Neither have done anything yet. So
it's not my style to be taking hits left, right, and centre. I did a -8 this week, but I think that's just because of injuries and suspensions. But that's set me up now for the next sort of 3 or 4 weeks. Assuming there's no more injuries. But there's some people who just take hits everywhere, and it just seems to pay off.
I think doing this as well. Obviously, we're in a luxury position being on here, but I think it's quite nice just to be able to celebrate more goals when we're on here. So if it's -4 for players with more upside, say 8 weeks, 9 weeks out of 10, those players might not deliver. That's the risk you run by bringing them in. But let's be fair, right? It's unlikely we're going to win it. Not just because Luke's 70, 80 points in front, just because it's unlikely you're going to win it anyway. Mm-hmm. So you may as well, if -4 gives you a lot more enjoyment every week and gives you 3 or 4, or 2 extra players that have got potential at least for a 15-pointer or something.
Yeah.
I didn't want to play boxes this week. I had a 2-point seeding. Say I didn't have to get Good Johnson, but you roll the dice.
Yeah, I think hits for strikers, as long as they're careful, are well placed. I think are worth it. Hits for midfielders, definitely not.
Not even to get a piece of Watford.
Not week in, week out. I don't think it's worth it. Like you'll bouncing from, I don't know, Carboni one week to Chadwick the next to Pedersen the week after. Unless it's a midfielder who's playing AMC behind the front 2 and has got an up arrow, you'd basically call that a striker. I can't. For me, it's not the way I'd play, but if it works for you,
I didn't need that from Luke. I'm trying to catch him up at the top, and he's got the same 2 attacking returns as me. I ain't going to do much catching if he's getting the same returns I'm getting. You
got a Ruud on Vice, so you probably do you want him to score? Or would you rather he didn't?
I'd probably be happy he didn't. I would assume. I think I said it. I think a lot of people have got both.
Yeah.
And I would assume that Van Nistelrooy is captained by 70-75% of the people that have got both. Mm-hmm. I don't think that I plucked the percentage out of thin air, but I don't think it's the most unrealistic guess. I haven't actually seen a lot of people's teams this week. Usually on the Discord and things, you get a lot of people post their teams, but I don't really know who was captain 2 this week. So I know we both captain Viduka. I think there was a few others that I saw Viduka captain. That's obviously a small sample of the whole community that are playing.
Yeah.
But I think Viduka is probably 30% captain of the whole game this week. Probably a reasonable guess.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I don't know if captain's got the captain.
Yeah, I don't think that updates still. That's one of the small things that we don't get, unfortunately.
I am part of a kind of a mini group chat of about 10 people from the son of a gun. They've grey heads running a league.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, Martin's in there, isn't he?
Martin's in. Yeah, there's a few of us in there. Frenchie's in there as well. FPL Mac. Pep
Richie's
Talk,
captain,
Richie.
right? Isn't he? Yeah.
Sorry.
Richie's captain.
Richie's captain, and I think Pep's vice captain, and they run a tight ship. But obviously, I had a gun to my head earlier. You must mention us on the stream, so there you go, Richie. Son of a gun.
I'm in the Wayne King in the Wood team. With
is that you with
Panda's our captain, but there's a few of us in there. Benno's in there.
Do you have a side chat for your?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, not so much ChampMan. I don't know how many people play ChampMan. We've got like Darren from Man On in there. Is there? Me, Benno, but there's not a lot of ChampMan talk in there. To be fair, Rob obviously can't say a lot, can he?
No, so, we've got a separate side group. I think there's 10 of us in it, because I think 10 of the 16 of us play ChampMan. So we're always telling that every week.
I just like Andrew Sherritt's asked if he can delete Henry from the database if he doesn't score.
Not many people saying they've got many returns so far.
So it's not as much as obviously the screen's not up at the minute, but what we're on about 15 goals or something. But I say it's not been maybe the players that tend to be I think most people are going to probably have 3 clean sheets or so. Anyone that's got Chelsea, Man United, even people that are forced to play Banana getting a walking away with a clean sheet in a minute because of bloody Liverpool can't score a goal. So I'm guessing there's a reasonable number of clean sheets so far.
Yeah, I reckon Liverpool will nick it 1-0. United will come out. Van Nistelooy 90th minute. That's happening.
Doesn't feel like we're due one, because it's one of those sort of unwritten rules that Man United score at the end. But I don't think it's happened for at least 4 or 5 weeks. I think it went for a little fad of it seems to be happening like quite often.
It's a funny one with Van Nistelooy, because if you own him, you should captain him. But he's not a hauler, is he? He's just 8 points every week. So is he better to own and then vice captain and then focus your captain on the...
It's the one problem with owning Viduka and Van Nistelooy. But, it depends how you view it, I think. If you just have one premium striker, say you have Van Nistelrooy, Boxic and Christie or something, more of that sort of spread of strikers, I think you just naturally, by default, have to captain Van Nistelrooy every week, because you convince yourself, because he's your premium striker, you paid so much for him, you have him. And that might be even at times. I think you'll be a brave guy to... If Van Nistelrooy is away to Bradford and Ricard's at home to Newcastle, I would argue I'd rather captain Ricard in that situation. But I wouldn't put people off captaining Van Nistelrooy. But yeah, I think you have to be brave to maybe captain your second or third striker, even if it's a good game, when you've got Van Nistelrooy sat there with a pretty good game. At least by owning Van Nistelrooy and Viduka, you are spending a lot of money each week for someone that you're not captaining. But you don't, the temptation, I think you always got the urge that you've got 2 options to captain, where I think if you've got Van Nistelrooy, not the other one, I think it's a lot harder to sort of not to captain someone else.
I think last season, there's an argument against going for Van Nistelrooy, because you didn't have the vice captain 50% of the points. But this season, because you've got that, I think there's a better argument for having 2 premium strikers week in, week out.
I'm a changed man. So I was very against having him season 2. And even I've tried to adapt. I've tried to adjust the way I play the game. He's in Van Nistelrooy, so season 2 I wouldn't have had him. And I'm also trying to play a bit more this week. Hence why I got Good Johnson and Perez, because they're not just 1 week punts, but they were predominantly to do well this week. If I'd have got Arca, he had a good game this week, but he would have been a 4-week sort of punt because of what they've got coming up, Sunderland. But I've tried to play directly the week in front rather than trying to play 3 or 4 weeks in front. So I'm trying to adapt my game a little bit for this to see how it happens. But
I understand. I think you can play 2 weeks in front potentially with strikers, but I think you've got to look a little bit more long term with midfielders, and even more so with defenders.
Yeah, definitely defenders. You don't want to make a transfer in defence if you can help it, right?
No. Last season, so I was basically rubbish at this game for a season and a half, and I've never been higher until this season. Never been higher than 150th. But the second half of last season, I basically wildcarded and then didn't change a midfielder for something like 15 weeks, and that was when I started to make progress because I just kept the same 5 and then just focused all my transfers on the strikers, and then I realised that seemed to be where I made some progress.
I've got no urge to change my 4 cheap ones. So I'll rotate the premium one.
I think there's an argument for having one cheap striker and then maybe like an expensive, like a Ruud and then a Rickard, and then you can have two premium midfielders if the fixtures are right. So if you've got, let's say Kuhl's injured and you've got Keane and you've got Pedersen or something like that.
Yeah.
I think there's an argument for that if the cheap striker is playing and scoring, if it works for you.
I'm going the other way. See, my third striker is 9 million at the minute. But the sacrifice, the payoff to that is 4 dead cheap midfielders. Now, who knows which way? Am I better having 2 better midfielders and a weaker striker, or am I better having 3 good strikers and a really cheap midfield?
You might be better to bring in a 4.5 for who is it that the Bradford midfielder got injured?
Oh, extra.
So if you brought in a 4.5 that's just playing every week, let's say you brought in Gunnarsson, and then when inevitably Pitcher drops out of the team or one of them gets injured, you can then upgrade that one.
Yeah.
Keep money in the bank potentially.
Just an update, Yilmaz has just blasted his penalty over in the 85th minute for Turkey. That would have been an equaliser in their game, and he's obviously missed it.
Who are Turkey playing out of the loop today?
Yeah, I haven't really been following international. Let's have a look.
So Wales 2-1 up against Austria. Hosts look to hold on.
Turkey are playing Portugal away.
Oh, right. And then Scotland are 1-0 up as well. That's a friendly, sorry. Because then they're not playing they're playing Ukraine in June or something, aren't they?
Good effort from North Macedonia. 85 minutes, still 0-0 with Italy as well.
You'd love to see it.
No, it doesn't surprise me. I don't have Italy marked down as a team that scores a lot of goals. So
yeah. So I saw on the chat earlier on the Discord about people saying that there's people from all over the world that play this. So is there anyone from any exotic countries in the chat?
There's a guy who comes on the Spaces most weeks who's from... Where is he from?
Is Mexico?
Somewhere South America way, I think.
There's one from Mexico, isn't there? And
FPL,
I saw
Tropical FPL or something, I think his name is.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I just remember everyone was getting ready to go to bed and he was trying to do something in his lunch break. So
yeah, I think I saw they said someone's from Trinidad and Tobago as well. That's pretty impressive that someone plays this game from there.
There was a guy who was in one of my Twitter group chats in season 2, Christoph Sam. I'm pretty sure he might be from Caribbean somewhere. I might be wrong. I might be getting everyone's locations wrong. But
when I was about 2006, I was working on a campsite in France, and it was when Trinidad and Tobago got to the was it Trinidad and Tobago? They got to the World Cup.
England beat them 2-0, I think, in the game.
And Gillingham are 2 Trinidad and Tobago players in the squad. They had Brent Sancho and Ian Cox, and it was Brent Sancho who got his dreadlocks pulled by Peter Crouch. Do you remember when he jumped up and
I do remember
that?
Yeah.
I tried to get a Trinidad and Tobago shirt. I couldn't get hold of one anywhere.
FPL Escapades missed the deadline, but he's still watching at 3 a.m. in India. Fair play.
Love it.
Fair play. Missed the deadline and done that. Michael Smith knows of a few in Indonesia. Shane's from Vancouver, Canada.
Middle East. Whereabouts in the Middle East are you from, Nathan?
1:30 a.m. That's a good effort, to be fair.
Shane from Vancouver.
I can't imagine playing any fantasy game from a time zone where it was obviously made it very awkward.
No, that must be a nightmare.
Yeah. Come on, Liverpool. Get rid of those Bernard clean sheets just in case people have played him. It's the one thing I really struggle to deal with in this game. I don't mind captain blanks. I don't mind unfortunate red cards. But people that get clean sheets from... I want to use the phrase defenders that don't deserve one. But do you know all the sim data that suggests it's 2.8 goal average or something? And somehow in our sim... someone's ended up having to play their second sub or something just because of
There
circumstances.
goes Jansen. Oh, just over.
You know, someone tonight's going to have ended up in a position purely by accident and they've got to play their Leicester defender. And no doubt Matt Elliott will probably get man of the match in this game and get a 9-pointer for someone. That's the stuff I can't deal with in this game. The people that get like good fortune at that sort of level.
Oh, well, it's just the game though, isn't it? That's just how it is.
Yeah, I haven't learned to deal with that in 3 years yet.
Imar.
Or
Knocked
pen.
to the floor. Is that a pen?
I think that's a pen.
Penalty.
Ian Hart time. Go on, Hart. I hope Hart takes it.
I hope there's some Hart owners.
He has as well.
Come on, Ian Hart.
He's taking it off Larson. Who would have thought? Oh, goal on a clean sheet for Ian Hart. He's taking
There's got to be a few people in the chat that
Larson
have
is
got
absolutely fuming, I think.
an Ian Hart goal there.
I can't believe when Hart came on, I think I said that I wonder if he'll take the pens. I think I said Chelsea might get one. We've not had too many pens yet, but what's that? Is that 2 tonight or 3 tonight now? 2?
Yeah, it's a few, isn't it? Oh, Ramanathans from Amman. I hear Amman is a very nice place to visit. I hear that's a beautiful place to go and see. And then you've got Gary. There's a lot of Garys in the chat, aren't there? In general, there's always a few Garys. Gary's from New Zealand. That's about as far away as you can get.
There's Martin in the chat. Who's that in the Darren in the chat from Man On? He had to play Bernard. Always won. His luck turned last week, though. He doesn't normally get a lot of luck in any fantasy game, and he got quite lucky last week.
He got rednapped, didn't he?
Yeah, and there's
Heskey. There you go. There's your luck gone, Darren. Bernard clean sheet wipeout.
I thought it was coming.
Yeah.
Big mismatch, I think, Fowler and Heskey against those two centre-backs. I'm surprised it's taken this long. Here comes Arsenal. Come on, Perez, are you going to do something?
Lescott on the free kick.
Go on, Perez. No, have a shot. Don't cross it. Oh, we'll take the assist. Assist for Perez. At least the -4 kind of semi-pays off. Yep. And then... there's a few people in the Discord looking at him. Obviously, as I mentioned before, people are struggling to afford Henry. I think a few people were debating whether it was weighing up Johnson, maybe was more affordable.
Here comes Nedved. You're going to kick yourself, Craig. Oh, there he's...
I never really considered him for this week. It was Tikhonov was the one. It was really between Tikhonov, Arca, and Perez. I think I have said Nedved, but I didn't really consider getting him this week. I would have got him over Chadwick if you would have given me the choice, though. If it had to be one of them two, I would have picked Nedved over Chadwick this week. But
I didn't want to risk it. I just didn't for the rotation. Giggs comes in for a couple of them. It's not worth it.
There's John Shanley got Henry and Tikhonov in, which on paper looks like two amazing moves targeting the Watford right side and Henry.
Definitely. I mean, Henry could still haul in this game.
Considering what the Sim data was saying in terms of like 20+ shots so many times, I don't think we're getting near that total yet. Go on, Viduka. He's had some chances. He must have had about 4 shots now. Viduka. Middlesbrough going more attacking. That's not a good idea. Good news for our Leeds players. Marin is not as defensive as Hudson. Gary Naismith running all the way down the left wing by himself. He's got to go about 70 yards, and he'll by himself up that left wing. He's made it though.
He'll be knackered.
Clean sheet wipeout for me.
Yeah, me too.
Might be a few with Sunderland defenders here. So I've got Issa. Not really. I fancied that clean sheet today for Sunderland, to be fair. Didn't think... And that lineup didn't scream goals for Everton to me either.
No. It's obviously clearly that formation they've got.
Poor from Jacob Larsson and Gary Till, just letting Naismith run 90 yards down the left wing by himself. I think the sim data had that down as a 2-1 game, though.
We've got a North Macedonia goal, apparently.
Have
Incredible.
Substitution for Coventry. That's an interesting substitution. The right midfielder off for a centre-back. I've got no idea what they've done there.
They brought a centre-back on?
That left-back who I was talking about before, Matthias. I don't know if he can play right wing. Maybe he's moved into midfield, possibly. There's Dublin. Go on. Yeah, says the
Get on,
Coventry.
Dublin. Get up them stairs.
Yeah, just Headman, no clean sheet.
Yes. I'll take that.
I don't know if Benno took him out as part of his -8 as well. Henry and Dublin. Did Dublin go? I can't remember.
I think Wales are going to hold on, potentially. I see FPL Corf. I know he doesn't. I don't think he plays this game, but he's a really good, nice guy on Twitter, and he was buzzing for the game today, understandably. So I do hope they hang on.
Yeah, so do I.
I don't understand this. If you're an England fan, you don't cheer for the other home nations. Like, whatever. I just cheer for them all.
That's an interesting one. Leicester, 52 minutes they've held out for a clean sheet at Old Trafford to replace the centre back for no apparent reason.
For another centre back.
Suggest that Taggart's not doing very much. Is that a bad Man United have been that Taggart can probably play in a 6 because he hasn't done anything? His pitcher's corner. There's the mismatch again. Smith against Hudson. Ooh, could have had another assist there.
What do you think about Tommy Smith being a permanent hold as a striker?
Yeah, I would never view any striker in this game as a permanent hold personally. But of the strikers that are in that price bracket, sort of between 7 and 8 million, I think it's tough between him and One Chop, isn't it? I think I'd probably trust Watford to score more goals than Man City in the sim. So for that reason, I think I'd probably have Smith.
Michael Ball's off. He's had enough already.
It came on.
Dab his ass.
Yeah, should have played him to start with. Smith as well, again, is another one that often moves in season 3. Often to Chelsea as well. Seems to be one of these more common transfers, which would be good in our sim. If he got him up front with Gudjonsson, I think he'd be a serious sort of consideration for your team. 7.5 striker for Chelsea that I would imagine would get a decent bump. There's your chance. Oh, Libra was involved there.
Come on, Libra.
No, Benno didn't get rid of Dublin. Wavy saying Matthias used to play right wing for Walsall. Yeah, it's going to have involved him. Gilchrist is going to have gone to left back. Williams at centre back with Walker, and Matthias is in midfield, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say that makes no difference really. Here comes Arca. Is he going to? It's been quite quiet, thankfully, so far. Here's your chance. Here he is.
Go on, Libra. Yes. I think I'm the only person that's got him.
Fair play. Worth the upgrade from Wood in my eyes, to be fair. And he's delivered. There's Tommy Smith again.
He's just been scoring really well for his price, so I've just figured he just seems worth it.
Yeah, I think Smith again. He's having all the chances.
I need a piece of Watford in my team. I just think you've got to have one of their players right now.
I think there's a lot of players in this game that, even if they've got a reasonable, like Nolan, I think is a prime example of this. I don't even want to play him when Norwich, like tonight, they've got what's Van Nistelooy. Oh, he set up Chadwick going for the follow-up.
Yeah,
I don't want Chadwick scoring. No, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Ruud with the assist.
I don't mind the Ruud assist so much, but of all the players to score, why him? The one everyone gets.
It's a great couple of minutes. Imagine if I got a game week rank of 1 when I was on the stream. That'd be a fix, wouldn't it?
Nah.
Oh, no, I think the most I've ever had, I think the highest I've had in 3 seasons is like 15 or something like that. I've never had any closer than that.
Yeah, that's.
What's your highest? Have you got a game week rank of 1 at all?
Not 1. I think I've had top 5 a couple of times in season 2. My problem in season 2 was I get 5 one week, then about 1,060 the following week, then like 8, and then 800 and something again. If I just needed a bit of consistency. I did have some really good weeks in season 2, but some awful ones as well.
Yeah.
Pedersen, he's been quiet so far tonight, 9.5 million, and he's scored. Literally first touch of the game. So Man City, not normally, don't usually ship that many goals, and they let 3 in.
No. But is that because of the keeper?
remember Nathan having a good night with York and Arca. Yeah, Fluke Chadwick. I might call him that as well, Graham. I like that. Let's call him Fluke Chadwick.
Love it. So North Macedonia are scored in the 92nd minute, 1-0 up against Italy. And they're on the brink of eliminating the European champions. That's a massive, isn't it?
I said it to someone at work. I think someone was talking about putting a football bet on tonight and was like, I'll put Italy in their bankers. I said, I won't be so sure that that's a definite win. Harry Kewell's on, by the way. Imar off, didn't make it to 60 minutes. So, did he get an assist, Imar? Or no? I can't remember.
Okay, I think he did. Might be wrong.
I think Bowyer assisted
Italy are out.
Wow. Wow. It's a shame, right? You want the for the good of the tournament, you want the better teams in there, right? I know you could argue it gives England more chance to win it, but
you could have said that for the last 60 years.
That's a chat for another day. England, good England, they've got to do.
It was strange in the Euros, wasn't it? Because it was like COVID times, and it was just coming out of it. So you kind of a lot of people watching the game at home by themselves, or you watching it on big screens outside. How was it for you?
Yeah, I watched a lot of the games at home. I work in marketing as well, and I had to do quite a lot of work around the England matches. So I was working a lot of the England games. So it was trying to. I can watch the game. It's not like I can't concentrate and do both things at the same time, but it does mean that probably don't go mad on the beers, for example, and say you don't tend to be around a lot of company. So I watched a lot of the games at home with my wife and my daughter.
So we just missed that. I think Holden went off, and Gronkia came on. So someone's gone left back for Chelsea, but we don't know who.
We weren't part of a double change, no, with Zola going off.
I don't think so.
We'll have to have captain to update us with that one. We've got something in the chat because I missed that as well. So we'll be talking about England.
I managed to, I know. I managed to get tickets for the Trafalgar Square for England Germany. You know, you get like a lottery get a couple of free tickets to watch on the big screen, and it was insane. The party, just beer being thrown everywhere. I've never experienced anything like it. And if you remember, it was absolutely pissing down with rain as well. For the England Germany game, but it was incredible atmosphere. It was just like first time everyone had been out after lockdown, and it was like England Germany, Leicester Square on the beers. It was just
for some reason I was more excited about that game than the Italy game.
Oh yeah, England Germany was much more interesting than the Italy game.
Yeah, I had an extra level of like nerves and the expectation for the Germany game. It was Saturday, right? England Germany.
Yeah, it was about like 5 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah, Zola's gone off too, John Chanley said. I'm not surprised. So Gronky has gone right wing.
Cheers, John. So I wonder who's gone left back then. It's interesting.
Whoever the other player that came on was. Maybe they brought that Keenan on. Here's Pablo.
Oh, yeah, it must be then. Yeah.
We've just got past 60 minutes, by the way. There was a couple of late changes that substitutes that went through 59 minutes, but they weren't players that were particularly highly owned.
I'm going to stop talking about nightclubs and England matches so I can concentrate on what's happening.
There was the Coventry would change. I think Edworthy came on for Eustace, and there was another change somewhere at 59 minutes. But I say it wasn't there.
Oh, that was a post for Watford there, nearly 2-2. That was.
I'm going to go.
Pirlo's beard. Did Zola go off? I think it's only been mentioned by 3 people.
Well,
I think there's 3 people who are trying to be very helpful. So
yeah, you can never be sure. The more people that confirm, the better.
Yeah. So Italy are out. They're not going to be in the World Cup. That is unbelievable.
Bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Happens. There was a tournament not that long ago where Holland didn't make it, weren't there? I can't remember which one it was.
And Wales went through as well. I'm sure that Italy missed another tournament, didn't they? 2010 or 2012 or something? 2014, something like that.
My football knowledge is normally quite good, but not quite so good with internationals. I don't know something about... Oh, go on, Perez. Ticking off cross, Perez. Oh, I can't be... Enough of my players are getting chances tonight. They're just missing them all. feel like I could have had 8-9 goals if my players had their right attacking boots off. There's still people as you now. I just see that you put it in there. Yeah, here you go. TJ Snook has helped us out. Italy missed 2018, won 2020.
So they've missed 2 World Cups in a
Don't
row.
fancy the World Cup. Yeah, don't fancy the World Cup.
Mancini's still manager, isn't he?
Yes.
For now, for today.
They can't be after this, right? Wiggins replaced Rodgers.
Very good panic. Gorgonzola. That's pun of the day so far.
Chance Blackburn sub or left back off for a right winger. What have they done?
So what happened, sorry?
Antonelius went off and Ludvigsen came on.
They could have changed their formation because then they might have gone 3 at the back and gone 3-4-1-2. Then they could have put Solano in the middle and put Ludvigsen on the right wing, potentially. Because I know that Burton O'Brien went off earlier for O'Neill.
It's a goal caught against John Arisa. Of course, the mismatches.
That's why you don't own Hippier.
Yeah, you can't. It's such a big difference who plays centre back. I'm hopefully going to do a pod this week with Luke about centre back attributes and what they mean. Hopefully, it'll be quite useful as like just to know defenders to target and what attributes it is that. The main point of it, I think, is going to be attributes that the game sees. The game as in Championship Manager, not Fantasy Championship Manager. The attributes that the game sees is good for defenders, things like positioning.
But whenever I say on a centre back, I just only go for the ones with best positioning.
Yeah, so they're obviously good for basically shutting the opposition out because that's what the attribute means. But from a fantasy level, maybe that's not what you want as such because, for example, just a little sort of spoiler, Pierre Issa is stats aren't great for a lot of what would be considered good defensive things for this game. I think he's got like 10 positioning, for example, but he's got quite good marking and quite good aggression and quite good strength. And obviously that's helping him get bonus points and things because of those things. So it'll be a little bit of what the game sees is good. Interesting change there for Watford.
Marcus Gale on.
Yeah, for the keeper.
Oh, ticking off owners. He must be gutted. That's Lindbergh on.
I got away with one there. I bottled it with him, but he was my first choice so I've got away with that.
So Mike Day in the chat saying -4 Sereni to Kirkland this game week. Don't worry. I still think that was the right move. Even if Tottenham get a clean sheet, I think overall rest of the season Kirkland will outscore Sereni.
He's the only goalkeeper on one, really. Hedman's conceded, Matzidis has conceded. Kirkland's conceded.
I love the pause there, Captain Lots, and looks certain to score.
Oh, no bonus for Atherton today.
No.
Harry Gill just on. Would have been a nice assist for Viduka there. Taken off.
Yeah.
Perlo's beard's not doing too bad tonight in the chat, to be fair. He's not stood out to me before for his puns and stuff, but he's
yeah. No, when Colb's in the chat, no one's getting anywhere close to him. It's just like a pun a minute, isn't it? Don't know where Colb is. Not seen him for a little while.
What's wrong with Nathan? Done -12. Arca, Hippier, and York. Oh dear. From -12.
Is that Balder Betts on for Hyde?
Oh, that guy. 25 minutes. Quite a second half so far. We had a little bit of a run, didn't we? 3 goals in 3 minutes there. Libra, Chadwick, Pedersen, and we've gone dead again.
It always dies. If you play this game, all the goals come in the first half. Second half just dies off.
A lot of clean sheets here. Probably still on 1, 2, 3, 4. Still 7 clean sheets.
Yeah,
And
but
annoyingly,
I mean,
it's a
so
lot.
if you got Tirico, that's good. So there'll be a few people with him. No one with Tottenham. No one with Norwich.
Yeah, he's the big one I haven't got at the minute. I
Yeah.
think it's him. He's the
Leeds are
danger.
low owned. Yeah, it's just I suppose Chelsea, Man United. So yeah, I think people who've got Tirico are probably going to get the biggest advantage if it stays like this.
Thanks for not playing Jamie Clapham. Go on, go on, go on.
Oh,
My players are getting chances. They just don't like scoring them. I can't moan yet. I think I'm probably on for a small green, I would guess, at the moment, with Viduka captain.
yeah, I think I'm on a small green as well. Pirlo is the resident piss taker on FISO. What's FISO?
Ew. I'm not down with the kids with these abbreviations. What's that?
You know when when you're not down with the kids, it's when you say the phrase "down with the kids."
Is it? I didn't know that.
Definitely. Here comes Cole Court. Oh, no, he's over the bar.
Haley Tor bench Danny Mills. I can understand why, to be fair. I feel a clean sheet wasn't obvious tonight.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really give you a lot else, does he? Danny Mills is not particularly good for bonus points or attacking returns, so feels like a 6-point ceiling player.
Andrew, Singh's still playing. It was Hart on for Dewberry.
And Bronkhurst doing well, finally playing in midfield. He scored a rare game in. I didn't see he got the assist. He dribbled for about 10 minutes. Bastadas with 2 assists for Bastadas. Decent night for him.
Bastadas. Honestly, Ashley Cole was disaster. I was warned against getting him in. I got him in 6 game weeks ago for a lovely run. It was 4 out of 5 home games, and then the Watford game. He had 1 goal where he was like a wonder lob or something, and he's done nothing since, not a single clean sheet.
Yeah, I wouldn't go near Arsenal defenders.
That was probably my worst transfer of the season. That and Headman out.
If Ashley Cole was 5 million, I don't think I'd get him. Or maybe I'd consider it at 5 million. Yeah. Anything more, I don't think I'd get him. Yeah, that's out of the blue. Just yellow card for Steve Watson. What did he do? just for playing. There's a yellow card.
FISO is a fantasy football forum. Okay, thanks.
CMs versus Watford again from Frenchie. Yep. Yeah, that's why I was going to get Muzzy. Is it in next week, Frenchie? Centre midfield against Watford, and then he got injured. Don't think I can convince myself to get another Leicester centre mid instead, though. Or what's
is it going in? Is it going in? No.
To be fair, Sereni owners deserve a clean sheet. I think they've waited long enough, right?
Yeah, my 4.5 team, I've got Sereni in goal. I've got Lawson with the assist. I've got a goal from Rushbury. Did Pitcher get an assist as well?
Yeah.
Could be on for my best game week of the season. Just need Noel Williams to score.
So the difference between Headman and Sereni shouldn't be this big. So this will obviously bridge the gap a bit.
Definitely.
Yeah, they deserve it, Sereni owners, for perseverance.
Yeah, he's 24% owned. He's the second highest owned keeper, apart from the benched ones.
Michael just put Craig's laugh tickles me. I've got someone tickling me on the feet at the minute. That's what makes me laugh.
So you cat.
Someone under the my cat's around the walking around my leg. Go on, Perez. Oh, another chance. I'm going to add my goal attempts up at the end of this game. I must have about 20 goal attempts for my players. Oh, there goes Venezia off for Swaddle. 20 goal attempts for 1 goal. Good Johnson's had about 3. Viduka's had 4.
Martin's saying, don't talk about it, please. What does he mean? Does he mean you'll laugh?
Yeah, probably. Probably. Is that a pen there?
Uh-oh.
Liverpool pen. Oh, Hippier, here's your moment. It's going to be Hippier. It's going to be Hippier, isn't it?
Got to be Hippier, isn't it?
This is why you might own him. Him and Hunsworth, people like that. You never know, right? Never know.
There we go.
It could have been a big haul because, say, the clean sheet was probably 50% likely, I would have said tonight. So it could have been a good haul for Hippier.
Oh, Martin means the Serenity clean sheet.
Oh, he's been waiting a long time for that. I've still got 20 minutes. I back myself. I think my team will get at least one more goal in this 20 minutes. I'm confident.
Has anyone got a whole full amount of clean sheets still standing? I'd be interested to see if anyone's got like Man U, double Chelsea, Tarico, and maybe Serenity in goal. There must be someone out there.
Someone could have Serenity, Tarico, Eki, or Desai, right?
Yeah.
3 at the back, maybe.
What do you reckon on Gary Kelly? Do you think he's a good hold? He's a good player for his price.
He's one of those I don't think I'd get, but I can see why people would, and I wouldn't put people. Usually, I spend quite a lot of time trying to put people off players. Usually, it doesn't work, and usually it backfires because the said player does quite well. But I couldn't find a really good reason to say not get him. I think he'll play enough games. Historically, he's been their best defender for bonus points when Hart's not playing, and they keep a lot of clean sheets, right? So I'm still more inclined, I think, to go for a Middlesbrough centre back for 5.5 over Kelly.
Yeah,
but
Mark Dorney and Bilal have got all the clean sheets still intact.
Blesto's got 4.
Yeah, Mark Dorney's got 5 clean sheets. That's pretty good.
Yeah, Dave's got 2 Chelsea, 1 United, and Gary Kelly. Yeah, it'll be one of those, Kelly, that I've never really seriously considered all season. What's he done?
Benno, 4 clean sheets, and I'm playing without a keeper.
He's got Yaskalainen still, isn't he?
Yeah. Gigs on for Nedved. There we go. Yeah, if your keeper's out for 1 week, I'd probably just play no keeper as well, unless your keeper's crap anyway, and there's a better option out there.
Would that force us? If that Manzidas missed the game, would that be enough for you to get rid? Because you kind of don't want him anyway, right?
I don't think he's that bad because he's generally getting no clean sheet every week, but he's getting enough save points and the odd bonus. He's getting like 4 points every week.
It's Dwight York, first chance. I do think Man United will get another one. I think that game will end 2-0.
I'd forgotten they'd scored. So quiet there.
Bloody Chadwick. I hadn't forgotten.
Oh yeah, I forgot Chadwick. Yeah. That's rubbish because so many people got Chadwick in this week. If you've not got him.
Stephen W. Nice to see I got an assist for drawing the pen. It was a harsh pen as well, apparently. But yeah, you got it.
So if you haven't got Chadwick this week, do you then go get him next week to cover off, or do you bet against him?
No,
you have to bet against him, don't you?
That's one lesson I'm not going to learn. I dug my heels in all last year. It was a payday and he kept getting something. I'm going to dig my heels all this year with Chadwick and probably suffer the same way.
I can't understand why Zepeda's gone so poor this season.
Borough haven't had really a good run of games yet, to be fair. I think after this, I think I've said it before, I think they've played the big 5 teams all away now already in the first 12 weeks, which is the big... You obviously know how defensive teams play against the elite teams.
Yeah.
So, there's a rare chance of...
Boxic.
I could do without him scoring if I took him out. So I think their players are under-owned and the fixtures suggest they should do a lot better. If there's one team that's going to improve a lot, or player assets are going to improve a lot from now on, I think they're probably the most likely. I think Arsenal will obviously get better as well, I would think. But Borough, I probably started this season looking at after the prices were released and thought there's 5 or 6 players in this Borough team that I think are good value for what they've been priced up at. And I don't think... I've owned Boxic on 2 separate occasions, but he's the only one. I don't think it's the worst strategy to have 3 Borough pretty much from now on after this week. 3 might be excessive, but I think that quite a lot of their players are underpriced.
I might take out Viduka next week, depending on the sim data, and get a Borough striker.
We've got Tottenham at home, right? Next week.
But because Borough's good run starts next week, because then they can put the money elsewhere. I haven't decided yet. I think it's worth doing.
We obviously ain't got sim data, but looking at the fixtures, who's the obvious captain next week? Is it?
Well, Man United are at home again.
Oh, of course they are. Yeah, fine. That's an easy question answered, weren't it?
But if you didn't, they're playing home to Bolton. But if you didn't want to go there, Borough home to Tottenham. I mean, that's probably your next option. Or I mean, if you didn't have Ruud and you still had Viduka, then they're away at Newcastle. He can still do well.
I like that game. So I don't like the Newcastle defenders at all.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be a decent. If he gets put up against Griffin, for example, I don't quite know how it'll work out, but he's not good.
So risking it, you bring in a Borough striker, and then Viduka then scores well and has Ipswich at home the next week.
I wouldn't be selling Viduka for Newcastle.
I think my plan is I've got Viduka, Lieber and Ruud for like 3 or 4 weeks now, and I can fix the rest of my team. That's what I'm going to try and do.
So I've got Good Johnson now, but I think I'm going to hold. They've got Arsenal away, but I think I'll hold because they've got those 3 home games afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd rather use my transfers, probably moving Perez to someone or trying to sort some of my defenders out. I've got Weatherall with no game. Maybe I'm better off using next week to get him to a Middlesbrough defender or something and getting that move done. I want to do it sort of mid-term anyway.
Maybe and then if anyone's taken a 1 week punt on an Arsenal midfielder, then there's an opportunity to go to Cepeda, isn't there, next week?
Yeah,
Leatherington for his 4th assist.
You've got to get it as well. I think
Wood?
Not Wood. No. Oh, good. I think Wally got 4 assists in one game in season 2. So we've seen it before.
I was so close to getting an Etherington for my.
I can't believe the reason you couldn't do it is because you already had 3 Tottenham. That's how.
Sereni. I was going to go Sereni head out for Headman, even though he had a blank the following week, just so I could get Etherington in. But I'd never expected this.
You've been three Tottenham attacking players.
Yeah, do you know what? It's just a bit of fun to the 4.5 team. I just want 1 week where I smash it and get in like top 50 like ranking, and I'm sure I'll get it 1 week where they'll all do well. I think like official rank at the moment is about 1490.
It's not bad though. Bearing in mind, there's been weeks where there's no striker that even fits the criteria, is there?
Oh yeah, right at the start I had no strikers, and do you know what? I threw the team together the day before. I didn't even think about it. A stupid team. I had to wildcard it. So I think if I save all my chips right at the end, and then when there's a big double game week, I can probably do quite well.
Yeah.
Here comes Arsenal yet again. That's going to be a pen, isn't it?
Perez might be taking this. He'll be the one that misses.
Is that aside?
Oh no! The one penalty taker I've got.
A perfect example of the TV support needed for referees.
Yeah, my luck isn't improving in this chair again. I don't feel I've had the luckiest night. Damn. Sweden have just scored.
Yeah. 10 minutes to go. Still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clean sheets. Drama at Carrow Road.
There'll be no drama. This is like nothing. Handbags. There's a red coming, isn't there?
Oh, anyone who's got Rubens, which is nobody.
No,
it does not look happy.
Locked in now, isn't it? He might get an assist as well. Not an assist to the clean sheet. Bramble. Ooh.
Yeah, so anyone who's got Tariko's looking good for a clean sheet, aren't they?
Rubbing it in that Clapham didn't turn up. That should have been my clean sheet. Yeah. That's a waste of a transfer. 2 week move for 1 point for Jamie Clapham. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, but on another game, you'd have ended up hauling it last week. You're really unlucky. Go on, Viduka.
Another chance missed.
Here comes Harpal Singh. Yeah.
We got an assist for that. Did we get an assist?
I don't think so. Of course he does.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Love it.
Yeah, no assist. Oh. Billy Hadaway, why'd you start nodding over picture? Yeah, never do that. played a Watford player every time.
Yeah.
He's basically my second choice midfielder, really, picture.
I've got Burton O'Brien, who's just going to be in and out of the team, subbed left, right, and centre. I think I just need to just make the move, get Pitcher in, get it done.
It's what you said, right? You got 10 weeks of it probably. The longer you leave it, the less weeks you get.
Davis injured. That's 2 of their centre backs injured now. Centre mid, sorry. So that's a striker on for a centre mid.
He's a forward right centre, isn't he? Where's he?
Yeah, Bo Hansen. Yeah. So I had him in at the start of the season for the cheapies, and he came on as a sub and got sent off for a -1. Frick. So.
You won first. He's been on the pitch 3 minutes and he got red. Oh, that's class. He was right there opinion that Leeds were going to outscore Man United. That's come true. I don't think I'd have put Tottenham down to outscore Man United as well, though, or Bolton.
So I think there's going to be a lot of people who have captained Ruud and may not have Viduka and will have vice captained someone else. So
I do feel
they're probably going to lose out.
Henry this week.
Yeah. That's
quite unlucky, Van Nistelooy. Henry, we get 1 assist between the two of them.
Yeah.
I do think like 8 points is fairly standard for a captain in this game. I'm going to assume now, maybe a bit early, that Viduka will probably get 2 bonus points at least, which will probably be 8 points. And so I think that's what you'd expect. But if you that's what I would expect as a minimum most weeks. I know you'll get some weeks where your captain doesn't get anything, but based on the sim data we get and the reliability of a lot of the premium strikers at home, I think you can pretty much trust them to get 1 most weeks.
Yeah, I think that's pretty standard. Apart from
you'll get weeks like Phillips, so like you might get the odd week where you get a 15-pointer doubled or something, but I think it'll be 8 a lot of the time.
There's a few people writing poems on the chat.
Poems?
I never thought it would happen. A benching for Jamie Clapham. I worked 11 hours and I bought the girl Tim flowers.
I've got Tim Flowers as well. I need a backup 4 million keeper, and he's not the most likely to play. I don't think he's played once since I.
Not since, no.
I worked for 11 hours. I bought the girl Tim Flowers.
Best quality.
I went to buy her a ring, and I came back with Harpal Singh. There you go. That's my contribution to the. There's probably loads when you think I'm not quite quick-witted enough to come up with some of these ones, but.
I read the other day that.
There you go. My wife left home. I couldn't wait. I couldn't help but miss her, so I went out and bought Pierre Issa. There you go. Another one. Not as good as some of the other ones.
Come on, Jules. It's squeeze. Yeah. Oh, right. Okay, fine. I'd squeeze the band. Yeah. Norwich down to 9 men for the last few minutes. They must have had someone off injured. I just missed that. Squeeze the one with Jules Holland in, aren't they?
I'm being shown up now. I don't know.
Yeah, he was.
My depth, I'm afraid. Even Deacon knows. And I don't know. That's a big rarity. That there's something that big rarity that I don't know something that he does. But let myself down there.
That's all the hip hop and UK garage you're listening to when you were younger.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Yeah, put some drum and bass, some garage, or some hip hop, and I'll get it.
Here goes Larson.
He's going to get a fair few save points here across. So he feels like he's made more saves than that man Zedis.
I don't know if many people have got
it shows what Leeds could have had. They could have easily had 5 or 6, couldn't they, based on Crossley? Imagine Brad Jones in goal for this.
Yeah, that'd be a bloodbath.
Henry Sampson wants something off Marcus Stewart. 4 minutes to score against 9 men.
So the other day I've got a Stalybridge Celtic save, and I played against a team that played 5-3-2 sweeper, and they had 2 red cards. So and they basically played with no strikers, and just played the kind of the diamond defence that Watford play,
Nice,
but without any forwards. I beat them 6-1 or something like that, 6-2.
You still you let them score still?
Yeah, no, I think that was before the red cards. Yeah, but I play a ridiculous attacking formation, so.
I think they did Kill for Cats. That's not bad. I've heard that song.
Yeah, they just did Call for Cats, yeah.
Yeah, no, I know that song. Okay.
Very good.
Kill for Cats, yeah. Come on, where's the last goal coming? We'll get one more. Surely we'll get one more.
Where's it coming from? I reckon it will be
Henry.
Matt Jansen will get a consolation goal against Spurs.
I'll go Henry.
Sereni wipe out just to make Martin cry.
I think Henry will get it.
Glasgow, we are entering the Ruud window. Last 3 minutes, goal for 2-0. Yeah.
At least he's been a bit more involved. So this is normally the part I say to captain, can we put a message up to say Henry's still playing, picking his nose or something? And he usually puts something in. But at least we've actually seen his name a couple of times this week. So will Villa clean sheet wipe out late on? No, Inkelman. Mark Dorney thinks he's going to get 2 more goals.
Dion?
I think I'll have to have some of what he's been drinking, Mark Dorney, if he thinks we're getting 2 more goals in the last 90 seconds. What going on in this game at the death with Lee Hughes? Ooh, he spilled it though, has he?
He's been disappointing in Lee Hughes. He's done nothing, has he?
I think he's one of those inconsistent. He'll get 15 goals or 4 or something in the sim. It just depends which one you get. Crouch the same. I think that's the problem with a lot of these 7 million strikers, like Panda and Captain. They've probably got seasons where, say, these players are like top 3 in the season for goals, and other ones where they do nothing. Mm-hmm. Here comes Arsenal. Here comes Henry. It's coming. It's coming.
To Pires.
Have a shot. Oh.
Pires.
Yeah. That means Perez has outscored Chadwick. Decision justified, at least. It makes me feel a bit better that Chadwick scored.
Nice.
Massive 50-50 call though, him against Tikhonov, and it's going to be about a 10-point swing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. That's like a 30 place rank improvement.
It's so unfortunate that decisions like that.
Yeah. 2
wingers, both equally as good, and you get a 10-point swing by picking the wrong one. It was always going to work out though, right? Because Luke got Perez in. So
yeah. Did he now?
He does. He's transferred.
I cannot believe. I mean, he knows the game inside out far better than I do. I cannot believe how far ahead he is from second place.
I think he's the first to admit that he's made a lot of 50-50 calls and he's gone better than good.
Yeah.
Well, ourselves at the post. Go on, good Johnson. Where are you following up? Disappointed with him tonight. He's had about 3 headers and no goal against Bradford.
No, nothing. Inevitably, he'll have a couple of bad game weeks and it will even itself out.
Yeah. What's happening at Norwich? Oh, another red, is it?
Oh, it's going to be another goal, is it?
Pen.
Go on, Norwich for 9 men. That'd be amazing. Oh,
not Tarico.
No, we don't want Tarico.
I love it if Norwich scored.
It'd be fantastic.
It's the pen. It's going to be a pen. And Redknapp's not on as well. Anyone that's got Redknapp ain't going to get into. Who's taking this? Love it if this guy takes it.
Oh, Tarico's taking it.
I don't believe it.
Oh, no.
I don't believe it.
Oh.
I could have afforded Tarico last week for Clapham, and I tried to be a smart ass.
Oh, that's going to be a a lot of excitement in the chat.
That's an outrageous goal to be.
22% owned.
If he gets max bonus as well, he's going to get a 12-pointer for a pen.
Yeah, that's a killer.
That's... Talk about fried dampener on the end of the stream.
Yeah.
I think Luke's
Look how
got
much
both the
excitement there
goals in
is.
the 90th. Luke's got both the goals in the 90th minute, I think.
You're kidding.
I'm pretty sure he's got both of them too.
I think he has as well. Unbelievable.
I was in quite a good mood 30 seconds ago.
Yeah. Well, you got Perez. Come on, if you'd have taken that, you'd taken a Tarico and the Perez goal.
So just quickly run through the scores, just in case people need a recap. Bolton 3, Man City 2, Wally with a couple of assists, and Ramberg with a couple of goals. Probably the main talking point in that. Chelsea, bog standard 2-0 home win against Bradford. Probably would have expected that. Petit and Forsell. Coventry 0, Villa 1. Decent game if you got Villa players. That was a doubling goal, I think, wasn't it, in that game? Leeds 3-0 home to Middlesbrough. Could have been a lot more. Crossy had quite a good game. Viduka, Ian Hart, pen. A lot of pens tonight. Must have been like 5 or 6 pens. And Hart and Singh, not often seen on the pitch together, and they both scored. Liverpool 2, Newcastle 1. Hippie a pen in that game, if you got him. Only 1-0 to Man United. Obviously, Van Nistelooy involved, but only an assist for Chadwick. Norwich 0, Ipswich 1 at Tarico, 92nd minute pen for a dubious handball. Sunderland 3, Everton 1, 2 for Phillips in that game. Tottenham 3, Blackburn 0, Everton with all the assists, so good game for him. And then Watford 1, Arsenal 4. Nothing for Thierry Henry, probably the main talking point from that. Let's just wait for the. I don't know if you've got the tweets coming up, Dave. But
yeah, I'll open up the tweets and have a look.
We'll see if we get the. You can talk us through the bonus points and stuff.
Yeah, I don't look at the chat anymore.
Andrew Dill's got goals for all 3 forwards, 1 mid and 2 defenders. That's a good night. That's going to be a decent game week, right? Mark Dorney got his 2 goals. I said there wouldn't be 2 more goals, didn't I? And we got them 2 goals.
That's pretty impressive. Yeah, we're still waiting for the bonus points to come in.
Ben Graham, scroll back 25 posts. I got the last minute goal prediction spot on. I'll take your word for it, mate. I'm not going to scroll back for all of that.
I told you Henri with blank from James. Yeah.
That Tarico goal is very popular.
Yeah. That was a killer.
After. Why didn't I just get in for Chadwick? Why didn't I get Clapham last week? Just got Tarico.
So Bolton 3, Man City 2, save points 1 for Oaks, and then none for the Bolton keeper. So bonus points, that was Evans, wasn't it? So 3 bonus points for Pedersen, and then 2 for Hendry, Dunn, De Vos, Ramberg, Svensson, Wanchop, and Tiato.
Goal and a max bonus for Pedersen, then. That's a decent night's work. Is that a 10-pointer? Did he get 5 points for a goal, Pedersen?
5 for a goal.
I think it's a 10-pointer for Pedersen.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, decent night for him. 7 headers, 1, 3 key headers, 2 shots, 2 on target. Hence why he's done so well. Things like that.
And then Chelsea 2, Bradford 0. So 1 save point for Arfexad. And then bonus points 3 for Forsell, 2 for John Terry, 1 for Melchior and Good Johnson. No bonus for Desai.
No, you only got a 7, unfortunately. John Terry, unlucky if you had him. He got a 9, the same as Forsell, but obviously not enough for man of the match. Not 1 shot in the whole game for Bradford. Did not manage a single shot in the whole game. Terry, 9. There's a difference. Terry had 9 headers, 1 out of 10, 2 key, just 6 out of 9 for Desai.
Yeah, it's the key headers, key tackles, key passes, the ones that had obviously goals and assists that give you the bonus points.
Brooms did quite well against Good Johnson. That's one to bear in mind. These 6 headers, 1 out of 7, and 4 key. I'm surprised he only got a 7 average rating, to be fair, Brooms, because that's not a bad night's work from him.
Yeah, it's unlucky.
But
Coventry 0, Aston Villa 1. So 1 save point for Headman, 1 for Enkelman, 3 bonus for Boateng, 2 for Enkelman, and 2 for Richard Rufus.
Boateng's had a couple of 5s lately, average rating. So nice to see him bounce back to form. If he got
nice to see the manager keep faith in him, isn't it?
Man of the match, one of these interesting ones, man of the match for an 8. So Enkelman, Rufus, and Boateng all got an 8. I quite like these teams where players can get man of the match for an 8.
Mm-hmm.
So Ryderson mopped up in season 1 by basically got about 5 man of the matches under those circumstances. Unlucky for Dublin owners tonight, by the way. 4 shots, 2 on target. I suppose you got your goal, but maybe could have been a bit more.
Deserved a bit more than that.
No bonus. Yeah, no bonus. Only an average rating of 7, Andrew, unfortunately. Stephen did very well. Made a last-minute switch to start Tarico over Nolan. But ruined his good work by captaining Veron.
Leeds 3, Middlesbrough 0, 2 save points for Crossley. So he would have got 6 saves or more, 6, 7, or 8. And then bonus points, 3 for Lee Bowyer, 2 for Harp or Singh, and 2 for Larson. None for Viduka.
Lots of 8s for Leeds in this game. Not enough for any bonus points, unfortunately. Imar, Viduka, Hart, Kelly, Woodgate all got 8s in this game, as did Crossley. But Bowyer got a 10. And then a couple of 9s. 14 shots, 11 on target for Leeds in that game. Bowyer with 6 key passes was probably the reason why. Chippo did the same last week, I think, got man of the match. Yeah. No one else
Chippo's
got
good in this game. If he plays, Chippo's a good player.
No one else got more than 1 key pass, and Bowyer got 6. Viduka, 5 shots, 4 on target. Right captain, right, with numbers like that. Larson a bit unlucky. 3 shots, 3 on target, nothing. But Viduka's unlucky.
Yeah. Liverpool 2, Newcastle 1, 2 save points for Shay Given, 3 bonus for Heskey, 2 for Huppier, and then 1 for Vignal, Risa, Biscan, Fowler, and Given. So it's decent for Hippier. Shame he didn't get the clean sheet.
Yeah, he got a 9 as well, same as Heskey, so it could have been man of the match on a different day. Unfortunately, Hippier was very unlucky, to be fair, because Newcastle had 1 shot on target, so Hippier could have got man of the match, goal and clean sheet on a different day.
Yeah.
The 1 shot on target went in, and he lost out to Heskey for no apparent reason for man of the match. So he's been a bit unlucky there, Hippier. Could have been a big haul.
Just waiting for the last one to come through.
Was it Ruud man of the match, is it? Well, we got a Viduka then, just a goal, just 6 then, isn't it, for Viduka, for our captain?
That's all he got. Man United 1, Leicester 0, no save points, 3 bonus points for Luke Chadwick, 2 for Ehiog, Rocker Jr. and Van Nistelooy, of course.
Van Nistelooy and Viduka pretty much got the same then. So an assist and 2 bonus for Van Nistelooy and a goal for Viduka. Pretty much the same, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much the same.
Yeah.
We've still got Arsenal Watford to come.
Yeah, I think it wasn't the last one, though.
A man of the match, Man United home game, and the man of the match is with an 8. Ekiog, Rocky Jr., Chadwick, Van Nistelrooy all got 8, so that was enough for Leicester. They only had 5 shots, 3 on target, Man United.
I think Chadwick owners got very lucky.
Yeah, I would agree. 1 shot, 1 on target, didn't do a lot. Or 2 key passes was probably the main reason. In a dead game, that's enough to sway it. Say Leicester, no shots in the game, but Man United only 5 shots, 3 on target. It's poor, really, from them at home. We would probably expected double figures, right, for shots, I would have thought, really.
Yeah. So Norwich 0, Ipswich 1. 1 save point for Taylor, 3 bonus for Malky Mackay, 2 for Bramble, 1 for Pullen, Tarico, Breen and Holland. Oh, just 1 for Tarico. Oh, I'm gutted for owners, I really am.
Yeah, you got an 8, 9, 2. Mackay got a 9 and... Well, not in another fairly dead game. Malky Mackay, 18 headers attempted, 13-1, 11 key.
That's incredible.
Probably up there, and he still didn't get a 10. He still only got a 9. That's I'd be amazed all season if someone ends up with 11 key headers at centre back. That's an outrageous tally.
I bet he was on for a 10 until the penalty went in.
Yeah, maybe. He's 4 million, isn't he, Mackay?
I think he is. Yeah, and he's done really well so far. Sunderland 3, Everton 1. 1 save point for Mark Poom. 3 bonus for Kevin Phillips. 2 for Tim Cahill. 1 for Emerson Tome, McCann, Libra, and Naismith.
None for Isan. My usual reliable defenders for bonus ain't getting them tonight. Desai got none. Now Issa's got none either. Mm-hmm. Like Tim Cahill with a 9, not man of the match. Actually, Sunderland is actually a fairly close game. Sunderland 11 shots, 5 on target. Everton 8 shots, 4 on target. I think the comms would have had you believe Sunderland battered them, but wasn't really like that. Phillips 6 shots, 3 on target for him. So you can see why he did so well.
Titoff didn't do much. Oh, that was the right decision. Lovely.
Did he not? Yeah, didn't manage a shot actually with his up arrow.
Tottenham 3, Blackburn 0. 3 no save points, 3 bonus points for Etherington. So I think that's a 15-pointer. I might be wrong. It might be more than that. 2 for Richardson, 2 for Perry. Bonus magnet, Chris Perry.
Yeah, Perry's amazing. I say, we'll talk about him on the Blackburn. Actually, had more shots than Tottenham in this game, despite losing 3-0. They actually won the shot 6-5. But yeah, Everton 4 key passes obviously was the big difference.
Wood and Rushbury did about the same up front, which isn't much. But Rushbury got the goal. Wood got a yellow card.
Here's the problem with Janssen up front as well. 12 attempted headers, only 4-1. I don't think he's maybe the best for that sort of role.
No.
I think his best role is AMC with the up arrow, where obviously a different type of game that he plays in that position. So yeah, poor night from him.
I think if I'd have owned him, I'd have held him for this week and then been annoyed at the blank. But definitely a chance. And then Watford 1, Arsenal 4. Just the 2 save points for Atmazidis.
Oh,
Thought it was more than that. 3 bonus points for Perez, 2 for Johnson, 1 for Ashley Cole, Upson, and Basidas.
Look at this here. A 9 only got you 1 bonus point. 2 10s. Perez and Johnson both got a 10 in this game.
Yeah.
A poor Henry got an 8, but that wasn't enough for any bonus points, unfortunately. Only the 13 shots from Arsenal, 10 on target, but say compared to some of the wild sins, that's fairly meek, right? 13 shots.
Do you tend to find with centre backs that one will get all the key tackles and then the other one will get all the key headers? I don't know if we're going to talk about that next week.
I hadn't noticed that, but
so Lescott's winning all the headers and then Upson's winning all the tackles. It's something worth looking at. You often see that. I don't know if that's due to matchups.
I don't know how Bowyer only got did he get a 9 earlier or a 10? I can't remember. Perez 4 key passes, 4 shots, 2 on target. So decent night's work for him. Henry 3 shots, 2 on target. Literally all the midfielders for Arsenal at least had a shot on target, apart from Lundberg, who obviously came on for the last 20 minutes. But all the starting midfielders all managed a shot on target. That's what you get against Watford.
And no bonus for any of the Watford players, unfortunately. No Williams with a blank.
He didn't manage a shot, the poor lad either. Literally everything fell to Tommy Smith in that game. So he did quite well against Upson, and Upson got a 9.
Yeah. Is that the last one?
That will be the last game. Yep, I think we're there.
Team of the week.
Wait for team of the week to come through. Yep.
Harpal Singh, Andy, and Hart at the back for Leeds. Imagine if you had both of those. Tarico with 13. Yeah, it was Enkelman the goal with 9 points. Etherington, he did get 15 points and he was the player of the week. Pedersen with 10, Perez with 13, Chadwick with 11. Imagine not owning Chadwick.
I'm happy. Perez got 2 points more. He's vindicated.
That's good. 13 points. You'll be happy with that. And Ramberg with 12. If I'd have said this at the start, this would be the team of the week. 3 strikers: Ramberg, Phillips, and Johnson.
Home strikers, right? Always in with a chance if they're at home. Ramberg,
but not the 3 you thought.
No, probably not. I'm not massively surprised Phillips is in there. To be fair,
yeah, not much love for Thierry Henry in the chat.
I wouldn't have thought Ramberg would have scored more points this week than Van Nistelooy and Viduka combined, which I think is what he's managed to do. But cool. Thank you, mate. Hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm sure you'll be back again at some point. Hopefully a few people got a few green arrows. I think it's a reasonably modest scoring week. I'm sure there's a few 60s, 70s floating around. I think last week the average was like in the 40s or something, maybe like low 50s. I'd imagine it's going to be a little bit higher this week.
Yeah.
But it's not the monster. I'm sure someone's probably nabbed 100 somewhere.
Yeah.
But
I think mid-60s, something like that for the average. think preview stream will be on Saturday night this week with Rob and Andy. There we go.
Cool. That's look forward to that, and we should get the leak a bit earlier as well if that happens, which is never a bad thing, right? If we get the Perlo's BQ Wigfield, you got to do the. I can imagine Perlo's being sat in his front room watching Rob and Andy doing the dance to Saturday night. Well, we're all thinking of that. That's probably a good time to call a night. I'm going to go and do it now in my front room. Go and dance to Wigfield. It's in my head now.
Yeah. Cheers, everyone. Thanks very much.
Thank you, everyone.